what? We landed here. It's not the same sun, this is despair. One of us gave up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. That's why you fear us, that's why you scared. They over the hilltop, I see them right there. They'll wait for the kill shot, they'll sit and they'll stare. If we got a real shot for us, it's up there. We're hopeless if we stop, they'll kill us right here. Living in death's den, run through the best winds, storming the front gates. Whatever gets us in, whatever gets us over, whatever helps us win, whatever we must do. Rescuing our kids, as long as they get through it, don't matter if we live. God chose to bless you, I'll take all that death gives. I'm here till this war ends, in memory of dead friends. Hope of a new way when all of this death ends. Who can we call on? It's me and it's all y'all. We're here by our lonesome, nobody to fall on. Flesh in the dirt, fire to ashes. Fate getting closer every moment that passes. Running away, no one is there. No one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sun, this is despair. One of us gave up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. That's why you fear us, that's why you scared. Show me a safe place, does it exist? It must be a wasteland where nobody lives, that nobody knows of, where nobody's been. Where we at is warfare, every kind you can get. What you can't get is real love and fucking respect. Set up for failure, a life of neglect. If none of us stand up, we'll live with regrets. If we rise, we might die, I call that a good death. What would I live for if I am oppressed? How can I raise up with the world on my chest? Who's gonna save us if you and I rest? They shoot us in cold blood when under arrest. Lock us in cold cells, consider it home now. Cut off from emotion, our feelings are stone now. Our buildings are blown out, the madness is so loud. It's dark and there's no sound, we gotta go now. Running away, no one is there. No one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sun, this is despair. One of us gave up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. That's why you fear us, that's why you scared. The illness is prevalent, natives malevolent. Hunger, starvation now, no hope for a heaven sent. Kiss the babies goodbye, say I love you to wives. Grab your weapons, get your steps in, we gon' ride when it rise. The sun mean what when it's blinding your eyes? Put the wind to your back, leave them facing the sky. Put the pain in the dirt, raise your bloody fist high. Use your brain, do the work, strategize and survive. The rush of the dust up, the thrill of the gun buzz. The satisfaction of our reaction when there's no one to help us. The spoils of war, the hunger for more. The passion of how we smash what we hate through the floor. The rage, the loneliness of dead on the page. To cleanse this land, gotta burn more than just sage. Crush the cage, body and soul unafraid. Kill them all and set them ablaze. No running away, no one is there. No one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sun, this is despair. One of us gave up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. That's why you fear us, that's why you scared. Hanging from a thread till you dead, cause your partner put a price on your head. Cause your chick was laying up in his bed. She getting details, spilling every word that you said. She working retail, thirsty bitch just trying to get ahead. If history tell us anything, y'all both end up dead. It's just a street tale of fable, some shit someone said. Sit at the table and hope there's more to offer than bread. Pulled out the cradle, first steps you getting chased by a fed. No head starts, just body parts and lead sparks. Old religion, brand new hate and weak hearts. Oligarchs, krakens, dragons, you see sharks. Imagine you could manage to maneuver the deep parts. You a savage, you could have it, just show how your teeth sharp. If you could grab it, you could stab it, just aim for the bleeding heart. The ones that show compassion, the soldier that seeks art. Does the artist that wage war take over or take part? Taking a knee, thinking no one unfaithful as me. I'm good people in bad lands, no evil live within me. I mind mine, I survive, find this lands for the free. If I'm mistaken, I'm forsaken, no one rescuing me. Residual effects, straight bullets through familiar necks. For any number of infractions that I deem disrespect. Your beliefs, you deserve better, but we both in the shit. You just haven't come to grips with it yet. Fight or flight, and they ain't really nowhere to go. If your back is against the wall and you ain't throwing no blows, you gon' crumble in the rubble, become blood in the snow. If you a victim, they collect them, grab the body and go. Dig them and ditch them, total disregard for the soul. Gas them and lit them, watch the flesh burn in the glow. Where we live and catch a shivering, it's a hell you don't know. Your best hope is that your dying ain't slow, or your dying's a show. Where we at, it's every man for his own. A bloody backdrop, where killers just zone and slice flesh to the bone. Masked and gloved up front of your home. A flash of gun, but the side of your dome. Fresh blood from a stone, dents in your sense. Kick your fucking ball through the fence. Dare you to say something. No sense in sitting around in suspense. Find out what's next. Open your fucking mouth, disrespect. See the extent of how my life is intense. She beautiful and oppressed in a permanent summer dress. She a servant and still she blessed. Children cradled against her breast, whispering prayers, wishing their souls the best, knowing that they forgotten, not forgetting they're blessed. The bloodiest red lights, just piles of dead life. Something must be broken, the glyphs wasn't read right. You think them Bible papers was shed light? Yeah, right. Burn after reading, tell the preacher I'm leaving. What is poppin', my people? Welcome back to Shy Ill Reacts. I am your host, Shy Ill. You can call me Shy. We are back in the building. Salutes to you. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday evening. A little late. Intended to go earlier. Had a visitor. Had to, had to put an audible. Salutes to y'all, though. I appreciate y'all for being here. Ran into a piece of content that I wanted to cover. I know you guys enjoy when P is on the show. Whenever we do get P on the show, he gives us his undivided attention. And you guys enjoy his conversation. He had a conversation with Normalized Crime with a friend of theirs named Pedro. Alberto Vallejo, I believe is his name. Make sure that's right. Yeah, Alberto Vallejo. He has a podcast called Normalized Crime. He did a show with P recently, and I figured we'd cover it. Why not? Right? Salutes Fernando for the $9.99 super chat through the gate. Salutes to you. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. Big Shy, fire. Salutes. Let me hit that like button right there and that little pow. Appreciate you. What else we got in here? Shout out Ivan, Rilo, Oso, Jonathan Pantoja. Salutes Velez 408. I appreciate you. All right, see, now I gotta answer questions and shit. Like, you been up in here, CW. Have I booted you? I just haven't acknowledged you. Is that what you're looking for? I don't know if you're welcomed back, but you're back. We allowed you back, and you was quiet. You didn't say nothing, and I ain't say nothing to you. But salutes. Vernon Himes, salutes Vernon Himes on the check-in. Shout out Peter Hassage on the check-in. Right? Hit that like button, y'all. Salutes. Again, for those that didn't hear, Pete was on the Normalized Crime podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. It's on pretty much anywhere you can get podcasts. Berto does a lot of prison stories, prison interviews, crime interviews. It's called Normalized Crime, so salutes to him doing his thing. Salutes Vernon Himes on the check-in. Shout out Peter. Shout out Jonathan. All right. Again, thank you, Fernando, for the $9.99 super chat. I appreciate it. So, yeah, that's what we're going to get into today. It is an audio podcast. CW said, I don't want any smoke. I like the live. All right, cool.
Cool. I don't know, I don't know how many troll accounts you got, but I know you got many. We'll see. Salutes to you. Here we go. So we're gonna get to into the Normalized Crime podcast. This podcast was published on July 4th. It's published on July 4th, and there's a part 2 that was published on July 18th. We'll see how time goes, and we'll see if we don't cover part 2 in another live, or maybe we get to them both here. It depends, how far we get to. Questions, comments, or concerns, just try to stay on topic, but if not, shit goes sideways around here. It's all good. Smoke them if you got them, crack them open if you got them. If you're sober, here's a hug for you, and let's get into it. Normalized Crime, Alberto Vallejo and Pedro Flores. Salutes. Let's get it. Again, nothing fancy on the screen. It's just audio
on the end. So here we go with part 1 of Pedro.
Today I got a special guest, somebody who unfortunately I had to do time with, but fortunately I was enough I got to do time with. Somebody I consider a good friend today, him and his brother. And oddly enough, they know me and my brothers, so it's kind of cool. Everybody knows this guy. His reputation precedes him. Obviously, he's got a lot of productions going on, with 50 Cent. He's been on a couple other podcasts, other platforms, kind of sharing his story, and I appreciate him being here with me. And that's my boy, Pedro Flores, man, one of the twins. I hate how they sync it to one of the twins that brought down El Chapo. But I guess that's kind of what you got to be known for at this point, man. So I just want to say what's up to my homie, man. What's going on, P?
What's going on, Berto? Thank you again for having me, man. Thank you for your kind words. The pleasure, was mine to be able to meet you, your brothers, man. All of you guys, man. Just making my time a lot easier, surrounded by guys like you guys, And
yeah, we were together, man. We were together, 4 years?
Man, it felt like a lot longer, but it could have been like 4 years. I was with your brother a little longer, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're with Tim a lot longer. I think it was like 4 years, man. And if I do the comparison, right? You got to think I was literally, my reign as a king was probably from consistently from 2000 to 2005 at best, and that's not including my breakups of incarceration. So basically, I knew you longer than I was a king.
Wow.
So it's crazy to think that.
Hold on real quick. Let me run. Did I run through the? Yeah, I ran through the chat. Salute. Also say you got to drive back. Shout out 030 North on the check-in. Salute.
Consistently from 2000 to 2005 at best. And that's not including my breakups of incarceration. So basically, I knew you longer than I was a king.
Wow.
So it's crazy to think that.
Yeah, that's crazy because a lot of people can relate to that. Like some of our criminal activities was smaller compared to the time we ended up doing in prison. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And I think there's, that was probably one of the reasons why we hit it off well, because going into it, I remember when you first came to the unit, obviously Solo knew you and he told me who you were, but the way we bonded, the way we hung out was just based on, commonalities that we had as, neighborhoods we grew up in. I think it's pretty well documented now. You grew up in Little Village, which is dominantly a Latin King neighborhood. And so if you want, man, just kind of get into that a little bit, share that aspect of it and what that was like and just kind of give us a little insight.
Man, well, I was born in Little Village. It feels like I was really at the heart of 26th Street. I grew up on 26th and Holman. It's like literally in the middle of the whole neighborhood. My brother and I, our bond is super close, as everyone, knows by now. And we did everything together. I grew up with, 3 sisters, and there's 3 brothers, including my brother, including my twin brother Jay. And we grew up, it was a rough time for us growing up. My dad was in prison. My mom was left alone with, 7 kids. Thank God I had an older sister that also helped out my mom a lot. And I am the youngest of the family. So it was rough, man. We grew up on welfare. We grew up, at different churches, like getting free food and things like that. I remember those times. I remember that time because I see my mom struggle, through it all.
Right. And that becomes a motivation, obviously, in your life as you grow. In different elements of different people's lives, they shape them and they grow them. And if I can kind of relate, like obviously I grew up.
So for other people that be in the comments talking about, oh, their father gave them everything. Their father didn't have them set up while he was in the joint, right? Huh? Family had to fend for themselves while he was in the joint. So stop giving stupid shit props.
In a house that was similar, you know what I mean? You grow up in poverty, you grow up in dysfunction, and obviously there was domestic violence in my home, and you force yourself to be everything not from what you're seeing, and like I remember always thinking to myself, man, I could never, hit a woman, right, or something like that because of what you see. And obviously with you, it's probably a little bit different in the sense that, man, I could never be broke. I don't ever want to be broke in my life.
I tell that to people, like that's my worst form of PTSD, to wake up back in the hood.
Right.
And for me I'd do anything to leave that place or to leave that feeling of misery or helplessness, not being able to help my mom, even as a kid, like seeing my mom suffer, not being able to do anything for my family. I think that really scarred me as a kid. It stood with me. It was a traumatizing factor for sure, and having my dad come home from prison, begin to try to mold us into the kind of men that he wanted us to be. And he began to teach us the game, teaching us how drugs are sold.
Right. And was it, were you a willing participant at the time, or were you were along for the ride?
Man, I mean, he was my dad. I never had a dad.
Yeah, I don't know how willing you could be. At 7 years old, you do what you're told. You don't know no different. This is normal. What you know about the illegalities. Albert said, I agree 100% with the PTSD. Him and Pete said you grow up to try to do the opposite because of what you're scared of, what scared you as a kid. Slow them thumbs down, Albert. Salutes. Shout out Sheldon on the check-in. I appreciate you, sir. Hit that like button. I agree. Let's get it.
Like that at home. So everybody wants, teaching us how drugs are sold.
Right. And was it, were you a willing participant at the time, or were you were along for the ride?
Man, I mean, he was my dad. I never had a dad like that at home. So everybody wants a father. Everybody wants their father at home when you don't have one, like he's I guess as a kid, you imagine what a dad should be, be like. And for me, he was going to take away all our problems. He's dad. And of course I had this huge respect for him just because he was my father. And Mexican culture and Latin culture, I think that you're raised to be like that, right? The way that my family spoke about my dad, and everything was just like a
shout out Sheldon. He's not live, Sheldon. This is a recording we're listening to. Salutes. Told him to turn his goofy down.
It was supposed to be this huge change in my life. I was too young to understand that my dad's way of changing things was to sell drugs. That was all he knew. And his dad was doing, stuff, and he grew up, hustling different things. He was, he was a coyote. He sold gold. He sold this, and he sold drugs, marijuana, heroin, cocaine, whatever it was. That's what he did.
Right, and that's usually what those are, man. They're, for lack of a better term, they're traditional curses. They're handed down, one generation at a time in some form or fashion. I come from a family of alcoholic gang members, on both sides. And so, my future was bleak. You know what I mean? The writing was on the wall, and so you come from somebody who was a narco, and their father before them was a narco. You don't have much room for choice there.
Yeah, I mean, and then again, for our culture, like, having our first generation Mexican American or Americans, drug trafficking wasn't looked at a shameful thing. it was like a business, you know. It wasn't wrapped up with so much violence, you know, in the 80s and 70s. So it's like bringing some weed. It wasn't like, you know, so taboo, you know. And
Right.
it was
He says that now, but you were 7 years old when you were bringing weed, so you didn't even know what taboo was. You know what I'm saying? You just knew that it was all good. This is something we do openly. This is a family. This is what we do. This is what we do. You didn't know no different, you know?
just like normal to me. I mean, I know it was illegal, but it was just normal to us. And growing up, seeing that that was the thing that brought us a different life, that stood with me as well.
That I could
Like
see.
when I would take those trips to Mexico with my dad, and we'd bring back loads, and our lives began to change.
Right. Right.
That stood with me. You know, that was the way to, you know, success, to a better life for us.
He that was a kid figuring out when you're hungry, you gotta eat, and when you're able to eat, oh, it's because I did this. That works. It's crazy, boy. Crazy psychology for very young men.
And it came with a lot, though. I also seen young and at a young and early age what the whole game is about. You know, not only that, my older brothers were involved in drug trafficking as well with my father, and I seen that, man, the conflicts it created. You know,
Right. And
it wasn't like
okay, so let me ask you this, bro. And you know, it's unfair to the viewers because I got a little bit of personal insight. Obviously, we were, you know, we've been homies for a while, and I mean, we used to have 2-a-day workout sessions, so we've had a lot of conversations. You know,
Yes.
so I know that Mondo, I know your older brother ended up being a king, and so I guess my question is, you know, how did that relationship, how was that decision by him accepted or unaccepted by your father?
So my father was in prison with obviously he became very familiar with the gangs in prison.
Okay.
So he wasn't fond of it. He didn't want my brothers to be gangbangers or us to be gangbangers, you know? And he threw both my brothers out the house early on. And I think the changing point that he kind of started accepting them when they would come back and join the business.
Okay.
You know, like
That was
okay,
more
now,
important.
That was more important. Like we're doing business together. Like now you're using the gangbangers to make money. Now, okay, that's a different scenario, you know? So
Now he saw them as tools. He ain't just seen them as bums on the corner. He seen them as, oh, okay, we could use them to do this. They could do the least common denominator that, you know, they're capable of.
my brothers joined the gang in the early teens, maybe 11 years old, 12 years old. And I also had an older cousin who passed away from cancer. His name was Pony. He was also a Latin King. So we grew up around, you know, the neighborhood, you know, everybody's gangbanging. So it was just normal to us. And of course it was weird to see my father and my brothers have a business relationship with my dad.
Right. And do you think that your brother's decision to be a king affected you and Jay in a way that encouraged you to go that way, or did it push you the other way because you kind of seen what was involved with it?
So that's a major thing I've seen. First of all, my older brother Tito became addicted to drugs at a young age, and he would be with his boys, and they were from different sets. And I didn't like seeing them like that. And my brother Mondo, you know, he early on he had a coke problem too, you know, but he was able to like manage it better, you know,
Right.
and started focusing on the hustling part. And Mondo always was like that, you know, he had that hustler mentality, so he always was a little bit further, above my brother Tito, because my brother Tito liked to just get high. And I see my brother Tito, man, doing things that he shouldn't have been doing, doing PCP and stuff like that was not allowed at the time. And I seen the drug like really taking their toll on him, you know. He was becoming a different person. And our whole family suffered from it, you know.
Right.
So that stood with me. That scarred me because my brother ended up overdosing when I was 14 years old. And that was something that we don't talk about a lot, but I see my mother, what she went through for, losing a son. And it changed our family. It hurt us all.
Right. I
And
imagine.
this February it was 2 years that his only son just got passed. We're celebrating his 2 year anniversary of his death, and he was heavily involved in drug use as well. We couldn't help him. We couldn't save him,
Right.
and it's one of those subjects where like we have suffered from every part of the business, not only from selling drugs, but
All right. Yeah, bro. So, I mean, obviously, you're going through, you know, small, but
Here's the difference, man. And you know what? Sometimes, and maybe in the future, I will do this. Maybe in the future, in the near future, because salutes to P and J. You know what I'm saying? Um, but there's a different dynamic when we're live. When they're live, there's a chat to react to. There's all these questions that don't have nothing to do with nothing. When you sit in a conversation with Peter J like this, where there isn't a live aspect that can sidetrack anything. These complete thoughts and chunks of life come out. I learned a lot just from that alone. So salutes normalized crime. I learned a lot from that couple of minutes right there. Salutes.
large adversity as a young guy. Your older brother gets locked up. You're dealing with that dynamic with your father and him. At what age do you think this is? Is this still around 14, 15?
I would say this was early, like 9, 10 years old.
Okay. All right. So
11 years old.
That was before you really considered the street life, considered anything besides what your dad was showing you.
I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of the street life. The only thing that was left was gang banging, and everybody around me was joining the gang, and it was like that's what everyone was destined for in a way,
Right. So how close were you and Jay to being kings? Is a question.
I mean, what's weird, I think that once my brother left, it was just it was attractive only because of the guys I grew up with,
Right.
But I had a whole another group of friends that were straight, just normal dudes, and I think that helped a lot, That, and of course seeing the shit that you see when you're involved in that kind of life. My brother was, Inca for 28th Street, and I would see them, hold their meetings at my house when I was a kid, and I would look out the window and I would see dudes getting beat down, and I would see just, for the most part, I felt like I was just seeing like wasted youth, like
Right.
most of them dudes, I used to feel like, man, fucking losers, dog, And then the dudes that were like actually enforcing the rules, I felt like fucking crackhead ass dudes,
Right. So
You're not lying,
so you
man.
didn't see any of the
Some of us could look at it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Y'all a bunch of schemers scheming each other. That's all it is. That's what it is. That's what it is.
quote unquote glorious aspect of it. You got to kind of see the dirty end of it right away, and that's a benefit because it obviously showed you that's where you didn't want to be.
Exactly that, because, I mean, let's be honest, man. None of them dudes were getting no money, man. Dudes were broke, doing drugs. And I remember my brother, since he was in the, hustling already, like his set was like well off because of that, Like, if you were part of, that block, you had some potential to make some money. But for the most part, they were broke. You went to jail for a gun or for attempted murder. Nobody was going to help you. Nobody was going to, send you money. And my brother would, because he had, he's always been that kind of dude, that carrying and
Overextended himself.
yeah, just to do it. But he would tell me, like, look at these dudes, like someone gets killed in the neighborhood and they don't pay for your funeral, man. They're having trouble collecting fucking $1,000 for you,
Right. No,
they're not paid for your lawyer,
Yeah, everybody forgets about that. Once crunch time comes, all those oaths and the times you shook that shit up and put it to your heart. it all kind of goes away.
It
I
don't
mean, I've
mean
seen it.
shit.
It's generic, bro, because
It don't mean nothing, man. It don't mean nothing. It only means something until it don't, man. It don't mean nothing.
you get, whether you killed someone or you end up losing your life in prison, it was really for nothing, man. Them dudes don't care about you. All that king love shit. I mean, it's bullshit, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, you could fake it all you want and pretend it's something bigger than what it is, but it's not only that gang life. It's everything. It's meant to bury you alive in one way or bury you literally, you know?
Right. And I think that's one thing that obviously, we've had discussions. You've listened to my show. That's kind of my main, one of my main points I always try to get across is just
Hit the like button, y'all.
the hypocrisies that go along with the entire lifestyle. Specifically, obviously I was a king, so it's easier for me to point out the flaws. So the next thing, obviously you make that transition. That's a crossroads, I guess, at some point to gang or to not gang, and you choose to not gang. So, when it comes to drug dealing, at what point do you feel you went from kind of just getting your feet wet to you were really, really involved in some serious drug dealing? Was that a big leap? Did it take a lot of time, or did it happen fairly fast as soon as you invested yourself?
Well, just to begin with the story of my childhood, being around my brother, being around all the neighborhood stuff, like my brother and I, we were out there, on the streets 24/7. We'd be riding our bikes around the neighborhood and interacting with my brother's boys and the older cats. And since we were twins, we were pretty popular around the neighborhood, And since my brother had a spot in the gangs, we rubbed, elbows with the bigger dudes,
Right.
So when my brother went to prison, like I already knew all these dudes, and including like his sources of supply when he was hustling. They would come by the house. I knew them. I would run little errands for my brother and doing little things for him. So when I was approached for the opportunity to get in the game, I mean, it was like a no-brainer to me,
And what does that look like? Like what I mean, because like comparatively speaking, right? And this is obviously a way smaller scale, but I talk about like, a guy from my neighborhood who introduced me to kind of just being able to hustle to survive, right? And the way he did it, he gave me a 500 pack. And it's like, here, give me back 400. So that's how small of a scale mine looks. Does yours look similar, or are they like, here's a key?
No, well, we started like...
They're like, here's 7,000 metrotons. Shout out Juan Quintero, said, what's up, Shy? I'm in the States now, born and raised in LA, Cali, lived in Culiacan, Mexico for a lot of years. I used to see the mansions. I used to think only if Skid Row were there. Misery works. Salutes to you. It's my waiter insight. All right, you was a waiter, though. Don't tell me you was a waiter. You said you was a waiter. Salutes. Appreciate you.
Some of my brothers, close people were like, I don't know what they seen in my brother and I. Maybe a little bit more maturity, or maybe that little street smart of it, that they were like willing to be like, hey, God, I got 200 pounds. You want them, And that was kind of the initial part of like trying to hustle some weed. And bro, even at 17 years old, like trying to make 5-10 G's off 100 pounds or 200 pounds, it was not enough for us,
Right.
We had to take care of home. My brother was gone, and he left. He left us in charge in a way, kind of like to figure it out on our own, and it was a big responsibility. So the story is weird because we talk about like the McDonald's issue. You guys, I encourage everyone to take a look at the podcast and Surviving El Chapo, and I talk about McDonald's, and it's weird because my dad's last deal was done in that same McDonald's where I did my first deal.
Wow. Full circle.
Yeah, it's I didn't understand it really till I read an article about my dad being arrested later on. And I can still remember the day where I met my brother's connect, and he's like, meet me at the...
It's a generational curse that McDonald's. They sitting around, daddy does a deal in McDonald's, goes to prison. I'm sure he did a bunch of deals in McDonald's. They get their first deal in McDonald's. Y'all been here too many generations. And don't say, yeah, but they was getting money, but not enough money to be away from that fucking McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? They was still in McDonald's land.
McDonald's. I remember him telling me, look, Guante, like, I got some work. I want you to help me. And I remember telling him, like, I ain't got no money, you know?
Right.
And they're like, man, you don't need it. I remember, like, calling one of the guys that, I've been knowing for a couple of years that, that my brother dealt with a little bit, and that offering him the work, like, hey, man, I could get you some coke,
Right.
And at that time, everyone used pagers, and what we would do is I'd page him, and I'd put the number, like, hey, I got 5 for like 18.5.
Right.
I put 5, for 18.5.
We'll start from right from that first load, bro.
Boy, it looked like they stopped right there when he got into detail about how he would type it up. You know what I'm saying? How he would send messages. All right, so that was an edit. We moving on to something else. Here we go.
So, take us back to that, man. I know you were expecting a lot less than what you got in that duffel bag, but when you seen all that work, man, what did that kind of do for you? Were you a little bit nervous?
I guess they got to the part of the story where they expected a certain number of paquetes and got more.
See, I was nervous. I felt like I was excited,
Right.
But simultaneously, what went through my mind is, I hope this shit's good, because if he gave me some garbage, then I'd have a whole nother, problem. I'd have a whole new set of problems.
Right. And because by that time you were kind of already savvy with quality of a product and all that, right? Like it wasn't your first rodeo to that point.
Yeah, it wasn't my first rodeo. And I mean, it's common, that people are going to look for some quality in them. And there had been like a bit of a drought like that year before, or even into that year. So I used to talk to my man, and he used to be like, man, ain't nobody got nothing,
Prime time.
And he would tell me like, man, y'all don't got, nobody y'all could holler at. And I'd be like, man, it wasn't something like I was ready to dive into, At that time I was like 16 and a half or whatever,
Right.
So I can't say it, maybe a little nervous, yes, but more it was more of a excitement.
And when obviously you're with Jay, right? So when you guys see this, do you automatically think, all right, do you maximize your situation and kind of just you two sell it all yourself? Or did you automatically think, all right, we can scale up and start bringing people in and that's going to be better for us long term?
Yeah, I didn't have that kind of long-term view of it. At that time, it was like, let me see what I do with what I have in front of me.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't, how fast I could sell them. I didn't know how much time my man Tommy was going to give me before he started, calling me. So it was just like at that moment, I remember just thinking, okay, let me keep these things safe, first of all.
Right.
And we had 2 trap compartments in our home. They worked with like an alarm, like a car alarm, little key fob, It was 2 of them. Like I could turn the power on and I could pop the stashes open. One was in a mirror in my bedroom.
Right.
And one was on the staircase. So I remember the first thing I did is I went and took a kilo out, put up the rest. And my brother and I called my man, which he had a building like on the next block over. So, we would always see him. He would always be, hanging out. So it didn't take long for him to come to our house. And by that time, like, we were super close with this person. He'd stop by the crib, It's not everyone you let come by your house,
Right, right.
And then he comes by, and I already had, cut it open and seen that it looked good, I remember just cutting that little window open and seeing that it had a nice gloss to it. And I was like, man, I was excited. Like, damn, it's good,
Right, right.
So I call my man, we call him Country. And he shows up and he's like, damn, you got one. I said, man, I got more. He's like, how many you got? I said, I got 30 of them. He's like, what? You got 30 of them? Like, you bullshitting. I'm like, I ain't lying. He's like, man, don't tell nobody.
And you're 16 at this time.
I just turned 17. And then he's like, look, let me go holler at my people. And don't do nothing. He's like,
do nothing.
He comes back, you know what, I got to sell for 11 of them. Let me take the 11 and I'll be right back. He calls me like not even an hour later. He's like, don't touch them. They're gone, you know?
Damn.
So he comes back with the money for the 11, picks up the rest. Before the end of the night, he comes back with a big ass duffel bag. He's excited, but he could see that we're still like, you know, we're young, man. We're teenagers. He's got 10 years on me.
Right.
So he's kind of like trying to prolong him coming to bring, he comes with the bag, but he's like, are we going to get some more? And I'm like, well, I got to call them, you know? And it was a moment of my trust in him was like, you know, it was all the way. It was 100% trust in him. I just didn't understand that he was trying to like, after that, he was trying to make the drop of the money simultaneously when the guy was going to come pick it up. Mm-hmm. Trying to like to show him I'm the one that's buying them, you know?
This.
Right. I see what you mean. So to kind of hook you up without being so direct about it.
Make the drop of the money simultaneously when the guy was going to come pick it up. Mm-hmm. Trying to like to show him I'm the one that's buying them, you know?
Right. I see what you mean. So to kind of hook you up without being so direct about it.
I think, of course, the name of the game is like if I could jump for their connect, I'm going to do it, you know?
Right.
You know, and at that time, I kind of seen that right away, and I was like, look, man, I would try to tell him, you know, in many ways that they ain't going to fuck with you, you know? Mm-hmm. Anyways, I remember calling Tommy back and be like, hey, Tommy, man, you want to send your brother for this money, man? He was like, man, I'm not going to be doing all these trips. Call me when you got some nice chunk. I said, man, I got all of it. I'm done.
Right.
And he's like, what? And he started laughing. Like, I told you, he used to call us Pelon. I told you, Pelon, man, you got this, man.
Right.
And he sent me 50. The next time. His brother came back with about 50 of it.
How much you make off that first deal?
I'm not going to, I mean, if I could remember correctly, it might have been like $750 off each one. I might have made like 21,000. I don't know, something like that.
Right.
Which wasn't much when you think about it. You know, everybody, you want to put at least a stack, 1,500 on it. But again, I'm new to this. You know, for me and my brother, making that money was like, damn, you know?
Yeah.
That fast. Right?
Yeah, we're broke. We're
Hit the
just
like
broke.
button, y'all.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so once you got that 50, that's kind of where you really got your traction and was able to expand. Now, you know, obviously, you know, you guys were all about scaling. You know, I can see like right away you were looking for, you know, quality, you're looking for quantity.
Yeah.
You know, at what point during your time, how do you know, like as far as like plugs go, you know, did you go from Tommy right away to somebody else, or did you ride with him for a while? What was that dynamic like?
Nah, well, I mean, that's not the name of the game, man. When you have good people like that, you don't want to switch up, man. It ain't like having, girlfriends. Like we always say, I wasn't looking for one night stands. I was looking for long-term relationships, you know?
Right.
Because bounce from people to people, that's what brings you more trouble, you know? They got their own heat. They bring you their heat. You don't know where, what people are doing.
Too many variables that you don't know about. Shit that you don't know that they got going on that can stab you. Facts.
So at that time, remember, not only that, I'm only 17. It wasn't too many people that were willing to give me a bag and say, I trust you, you know? So this is the beginning. We're trying to we're making a name for ourselves as being trustworthy. And I think that's what he saw in us. But early on, it was still like the game was small to me in my mind, because I remember there was this dude that was one of my brother's associates, and he was like plug. Like, this is where I used to get the weed from. They already had lost like 550 keys the year before. So they were doing big things, you know? Right. So for my brother and me to know these kind of people, it was like, it's rare as well. You know, we take it for granted, but looking back, you kind of see it, you know? So my brother had this car lot in Cicero, and we'd, stop by and hang out. And I still mess with the people there after, he went to prison. Because we'd go buy cars there. I remember sitting there and I wanted to holler at him, like ask him, what's up,
Right.
I remember he tells me, hey, look, twin, he's telling me in Spanish. He said, I don't think you understand what you're getting yourself into. Like, I see y'all, making moves. He said, make sure you put up like 250,000 because you're going to need it for your lawyer. All right? Like, be safe. And I said, 250,000? I'm like, I quit. If I had 250,000.
Right. Right. That was the end game at that point.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, think about it. Like, I'm 17 years old. I could buy 2 houses and a half with that. At the time, so you could buy yourself a nice house with $100,000.
Right. There
So, and when he told me that, I was like, what? But no doubt that felt he little nigga to me like, what? You like, get out my face.
Oh, damn. So he didn't think you were ready at all.
I totally understand that. Like, I still wonder what Tommy seen in us that he made us approach me in that way,
Right.
So we kept it rocking and rolling with my first customer, and then I kind of realized that fast, like real early on, he got me in the corner where he was like, I need him at this price, and I was making $500 a bird.
Okay.
And I remember thinking like, I can't do that, so I started just hollering at different people,
Right.
And like one of my best friends growing up, they used to call us the triplets. His dad used to hustle, I remember like hollering at him, like, look, I got some. And then, he was like, okay. And he got his money together and he bought like 2 of them. I was like, oh man, that's not,
Right. That's not going to help.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we already had that like pushing the weight, And I think about him because
too,
both
man. Once you have already committed and you've done a couple of runs like that and your people are used to it, people get used to getting money real quick. And, you got to get it when you can get it because those moments come. Those moments when you ain't got the right connect no more and shit done gone slow on you. And that just works with everything. It's a metaphor for life.
My best friend and his father were both killed later, and a month apart. They still stay on my mind, And just going back to the streets and just hollering at different people, of course, like, my main instinct was like trying to holler at a couple of my brother's old customers,
Right.
That wasn't always easy. And
is there like a sense of desperation, bro? Like, you got all this work. There's like a pressure on you to get it sold. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like, damn?
I want to hear about the pressure of trying to get the brothers' old customers and how that was a hurdle and why that was a hurdle. I'm sure they, looked at them like the little brothers, but I wonder what's the next layer of that. I mean,
You got to do it in a certain amount of time or there's going to be consequences, or did you feel like a little bit relaxed because you knew Tommy and you felt like he was going to be able to work with you no matter what?
I want to say that my reaction was like, you got your dream job and you want to, show your best,
Right. So it was
kind of in a way. Yeah, it's like if you made it to the NBA and you're on the bench and they call you into play, you want to, do everything you can to impress everyone, And it was kind of that situation. So,
hell yeah.
And at the same time, if I was going to keep making money, I couldn't just do it with one person and put all my eggs in one basket. And he has me by the balls and I'm making $500 off of each kilo,
Right.
Along with the money, the first thing we do is we're like, man, we shopping and we buying cars and,
Right.
It's going. I mean, we're making money, just always thinking about what's next, So we just end up, meeting a couple people like that. And one of the first persons I started dealing with outside of him was this Arab dude that owned the clothing store. We used to go in there and shop. He was a pretty boy, You never would think that he was in the game. That was like my first other customer, kind of like that we dealt with after that. That was that was serious. That was helping us, move some weight.
Right.
And then
right.
he ended up like cooperating against us, and he's one of the reasons we got indicted out of Milwaukee later on.
Oh shit! So he was one of the first ones to break. Had to be in Milwaukee. Huh?
Nah, but yeah, the story is funny because, he we talk about it. He knew my brother, my older brother. They would go in there shopping, and he'd be like, "Hey man, what's up? You got some, man?"
Right.
And his whole family, like they grew up, like they own liquor stores and everything on the east side and all over the place. So they knew a lot of people on the street, And he was good. Like he'll be like, "Hey man, bring me 4." And he'll meet his guy and I'll give him 4 to pay me cash. And I'm making $1,500, or we made a deal like we'll split whatever we sell them for. So we're making like 3 stacks. We're splitting $1,500 a piece.
Okay. So that picked up pretty fast.
Yeah, that picked up pretty fast.
And then the money's just different, and now you got to make decisions. Yeah, and that's another thing I was curious about too, bro. It's like I know. Okay, so like obviously, somebody with no money, also you get money. Of course, you're going to spend it. But how much of it was you guys really having to save and grind? You know what I mean? To get to the next level, and the next level.
Save and grind. I mean, it was just. I think that's probably one of our flaws. It was always doing more. And I started getting a taste of that money and started realizing how big the business was, And, I made my mistakes. I had shit happen. They, kicked in my door and, they robbed me and, stuff like that. And then I had like my brother's generation of people. They include like Kay and a bunch of dudes that were on the street, that were getting money. And it felt like they were like straight trying to hate, man. They were just hating, bro. Like I couldn't even tell you like how difficult they'd make it,
Right.
At that time,
they felt entitled to your business. Do you think?
And at the time when my brother went to prison, nobody was trying to help out. Everybody was like trying to get his customers, trying to, take, what he had, and they weren't trying to help, and they were actually like treating us a little bit, So I was like, man, fuck them, like. And at that time, my brother and I, we had our own little crew of dudes we hung around with. So we going back to the neighborhood and we're like, man, we're living it up with my guys, like they're the older dude, like, man, F them,
What did I tell y'all when we were talking about Nipsey Hussle and Big U and all of that? He was a rolling 60 Crip, Nipsey, but he had his crew, his tight crew that was who gonna hold the line with him. You know what I mean? And they couldn't trust the older dudes. They couldn't trust the older dudes. The older dudes feel the way about you getting money. It's like being born in a time where, if you were in the time of the internet's prime, you were like, oh, you had the tools. You know what I'm saying? But you were born before that. So you didn't have the tools. You didn't have the YouTubes. You didn't have the this, that, the other to make it work. Same thing there. Them older dudes didn't have it. Them young dudes figured it out. They was getting money. Older dudes don't like that shit. Crazy.
I think that's important too to bring up, bro, because I feel like, your guys' story is so unique, man. And you guys kind of get painted into a corner without really having a voice at times, and they tend to pair you guys up with people that may not even have had an integral role in your guys' success or even downfalls. But just to, like, I feel like there's a lot more people in your guys' story that maybe ain't mentioned.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying, guys?
Their story is deeper than just the Chapo and the Mayo and the being in Mexico. The story starts early. The story starts as babies. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of people that were part of our, of our business and our lives early on and afterwards that we don't speak about. Like, we have a documentary coming out, and I'm thinking that might be a little place to dive in a little deeper into, the origins of our story,
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think, I listen to, content is key, bro. And so I listen to narratives, and obviously, like, you and Jay, anytime you got somebody you call your friend, like, you always listen and be like, man, what's the scrutiny now? You know what I mean? Like, what's the criticism now, or who do they put next to them? And I won't mention no names, but I feel like a lot of guys, they prop themselves up, based on your guys' name. And that's, for whatever reason, but I know there's a lot of what you guys got as far as, like you said, origins. And I definitely look forward to seeing that kind of shit, man, seeing that documentary and just understanding, like, step by step, base by base,
Yeah. I mean, what comes to mind always when you say that is, or with that thought is, what's that saying? Success has 1,000 fathers and failure's an orphan.
Right.
So I feel that when it comes to people want to ride your coattail on the success, they want to like say they contributed or they were like essential to you doing something. And I feel like shit, ain't nobody was there with me. My brother were trying to get it, you know?
Right. And that's the thing, bro. I feel like that's like an unsaid thing. You know, it's like you guys, and I understand your guys' standpoint. It's not for you to come out and step over anybody. I'm not intending to do that. But I'm just saying in general, like, yeah, man, you guys, you know, say what you want, believe what you want, feel how you want. But, you know, you guys put your life on the lines every day, man. You know, I mean, driving around with 500 bricks in a Bronco isn't exactly for the faint of heart. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not something that most of the average people can do.
No, so I think that putting myself in that mindset of being 17, 18 years old, and maybe you could relate, and a lot of youngsters could relate, like, I ain't have shit to lose, man.
Right.
My dad was on the run. The only person that I had to, you know, that took care of us, that I had to depend on, was in prison now.
And how much time was he doing?
He was doing 5 years, but he was gonna get deported. So, you know, we got bills to pay at home, and we had no one. It felt like that. It felt like we were just nothing to lose, man. Like what's worse? How much worse could it get? You know what I mean? At that time, I don't got no kids. I'm just like, fuck it. Whatever comes with it, you know, comes with it. Like It doesn't matter at that time. That was my mindset. So what? You know? And, you know, you evolve, man, and you can't stay that same person forever.
I want you people that be in the comments that talk about how plush they had it, how easy it was for them to do it, because their old man put them on. Their old man was on the run. He was on the run. They had to fend for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, what part do you people not understand? It's just that you pick a side and you pick and choose who's who did what, who didn't. It's bullshit. It's just bullshit. You know? They had to get it. They got it out the mud. Oh, they weren't built for it. They were built enough to get it on their own. Oh, their father was on the run. He had his own fucking problems. Hit the like button, y'all.
And I think prison did me good in a lot of ways. And I'm a different person today, and I'm happy about that. I'm not. When you grow, man, you mature, you have family, you know, your circumstances change in life, and you start seeing things different.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was like, shit, let me get this money, you know?
For sure, yeah. Bro. Especially like you said, man, you come from nothing. There's nowhere to go but up, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it felt like that. I mean, not understanding that it could get worse. You could get slammed and you have 50 years on your head, you know? And I mean, that would definitely be worse. That little thought of dude telling me I needed $250,000 for a lawyer comes to mind, you know?
Right. Let me ask you this, bro. At what point did you and Jay, were you able to actually, like, you know, take a sigh of relief and be like, all right, we got the foundation of this business set up, you know, like it wasn't like you were it was operational, basically. You know, you guys had certain things in place. At what point in your life do you feel like, all right, from here, we can only grow the right way? You know what I mean? Because I imagine in the beginning, you kind of probably had to be spinning your tires a little bit, looking for buyers, and you know what I mean?
I mean, it was met. That time was met with a lot of failures, and a lot of hard lessons learned, and I realized that you can't take it for granted. Like in any business, you have ups and downs, and we're balling out of control, bro. Like, you know, just doing everything the dope boy's supposed to do, buying jewelry and cars, and, you know, wheels, and going to the club. I'm 17, like. Man, they don't want to let me in the door. I throw $2,000 at them. Like, man, look at me. My guys want to come in, you know?
Right.
Like, it was that stupid stuff that you do. And here comes a couple of slow months, and I didn't understand that. Here comes December. All the people like to go back to Mexico and chill out. Nobody works like that for the most part.
Okay. You trying to get it on a Sunday.
Invested money in, one of the first things I bought was a building I bought. You know, and I invested my money there and just did all kinds of stuff. And And then here comes some slow months, and then you get hit with reality. Like, damn, you know, you get used to that money, you know, and it slows down. You're like, what happened?
Right. Now you wish you would have had to put more away.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. And, you know, it wasn't just, you know, always winning. It was like those hard lessons. I was like, damn. I remember thinking, man, I'm not ever going to let that happen again. And even my connect, like, he ended up owing me some money, and I was like, damn, you know? But we get through
Connect owing him some money.
it. A couple months come by, and we start working. We start working again, and we stopped going out, and our mindset kind of changed where we're like, we're just going to save, you know?
Right.
And I remember thinking, like, once we had that, like, $1 million in our hand, we're like, no one could deny us this cash. You know, I don't need to ask nobody for no credit. I could go buy 50 keys and cash and flip them
Right.
2-3 times a month, and, you know, and we're going to be good.
So once you seen the fruits of your labor, bro, it kind of motivated you more. I guess let me ask you this, bro. What do you think? I know you could probably, it's the first thing that comes to your head, bro. What was your biggest, you know, I guess lesson? I wouldn't call it a failure. I guess it's considered a failure, but it was a lesson because
78 concurrent viewers, 31 likes. Let's make these numbers make sense. Get these likes all the way up. Salutes.
guessing you learned from it. You know what I mean? What do you think was the biggest first lesson where you're like, damn, I got to tighten up?
The mindset of YOLO, like, just fuck it, spend it while you got it, you know?
Okay.
You know, that was a hard lesson learned. Like, you think about all the money you threw away and you're like, damn, you know? And that other saying comes to mind. Yesterday's home runs don't win today's games.
Right.
When you're sitting there like messed up, you know, that stood with me and my brother for sure. And we started grinding and saving some money, and that changed a lot. Once you had the bag in your hand, and you dictate a lot, you know?
Right. Right.
But again, not only that, having a good relationship with the people that we were dealing with, that was essential to our business. Like I said, no one night stands. Like, we're trying to like get a team together, you know?
Okay. Let me ask you this, bro. We won't dive into it too much because I know you've covered it a million times, and you know. But like with the kidnapping, right? I know that dude. From my understanding about that dude, Saul, he was like infamous at that time. Were you guys?
Saul was infamous. Shout out Pete Never on the check-in. Salute, Shai. Salutes to you, sir. Appreciate you being here.
Guys ever like tipped off about that dude, or were you just oblivious to what he was doing?
Nah, he wasn't infamous. He was a dirtbag. Like, he was not even on my radar. Like, some of them, maybe.
He was a dirtbag. He was not even on my radar. Salutes. Shout out Pete Never for the $10 super chat support. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. All right, we're listening to Pedro Flores on the Normalized Crime Podcast with Alberto Vallejo. Salutes to them both. Saul was just a dirtbag.
From my understanding about that dude, Saul, he was like infamous at that time. Were you guys ever like tipped off about that dude, or were you just oblivious to what he was doing?
Nah, he wasn't infamous. He was a dirtbag. Like, he was not even on my radar. Like, some of them, maybe around them older dudes, that they probably knew about him a little bit. And
okay,
I didn't have no idea. Like, you know, I had people on the street, and you kind of know who's getting it, you know, who's getting money, who's not. And I kind of paid him no mind till later on. I was like, they had brought him up or something and said something like he was getting money. I'm like, I don't know what.
Shout out Goldo Goldito on the check-in. He said, did you know them growing up? I did not. I met them recently this year, or spoke to them for the first time recently this year. There were times throughout the years through the music business I was supposed to meet with them amongst others, and it always fell through for one reason or the other. But here we are today. Salutes. Appreciate you.
Where, but okay.
Right.
And
it's like, before it happened.
You kind of know who's getting it, you know, who's getting money, who's not. And I kind of paid him no mind till later on. I was like, they had brought him up or something and said something like he was getting money. I'm like, I don't know where, but okay.
Right.
And
this before it happened. This before he kidnapped you.
Yeah, this was before. So I remember like later on, I'm not sure what year it was. It could have been like 2000, 2001.
Wait. Did he say
I
you
remember
heard
that
about
said
him
something
before?
like he was getting money. I'm like, I had people on the street, and you kind of know who's getting it, who's getting money, who's not. And I kind of paid him no mind till later on. I was like, they had brought him up or something and said something like he was getting money. I'm like, I don't know where, but okay.
Right.
And
this before it happened. This before he kidnapped you.
Yeah, this was before. So I remember like later on, I'm not sure what year it was. It could have been like 2000, 2001. I remember that one of the dudes he messed with, which he'll end up being my guy for a long time, which is JC's boy. He tells me, hey man, my guy they got 50 birds and he gives me a good price. And I was like, I'll tell him to send them. Maybe it was more. Maybe it was like 80 or something. So again, things that looking back, they were always trying to like, little niggas, bro. So I remember going and checking the work out. They give me the work and I put the money in the car once I sell them, I remember I had extra money in the car. I go pay them at one of their spots. And I had one of my guys that was helping me by this time. I had somebody already helping me. And just to be a dick, I remember grabbing a stack, big ass stack. And I said, oh, that's your part. I gave it to my man. In front of them. And I think that changed the way they looked at us. And I think instead of them like not like, overlooking us, it turned into a little hate,
Right. Immediately. Yeah, because nobody wants to,
So the question is, what was the point of that move? Was it just to front on them? Was it just to feel like, yeah, Papa, watch this. I'm finna pay buddy right in front of y'all. This you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Why did you do that? Again, mistakes we see in hindsight. You know what I'm saying? Could those feelings have been avoided? Nah, they'd have probably came from something else that they did. You can't get too much without the next man wondering why you got it and he don't.
Nobody wants to see anybody else shine, bro. Especially in that game.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, like I'm thinking, I realize fast there's more haters than players out there,
Right.
Me, if we getting money, you're getting your money, I'm getting mine. We're winning together, like cool. Like, good for you. But that's my mindset. I didn't understand the mindset of other people.
And how long from that grind, bro? Just
so
like what you're talking about.
My point to the story is that later on, looking back, is that he had robbed somebody for those 80 kilos. That's why he was able to sell them to me cheap.
Okay. So that's the kind of guy he was from the gate.
I just didn't know it was him behind it till later, and for the most part, we mind our own business and we're just strictly focused on us. Like everybody else, it didn't matter, So that comes back like, years later when, your name's ranking. I mean, people would say, oh, they were hot. And I always say that, like, what do you expect me to be not hot? Like, we out here selling that shit. We out here making money,
Hell yeah.
Everybody
what I think? What I think though is a mind. It's crazy to me, bro, and it's a testament to who you guys are as people. I think you and Jay, man. But I always wonder this, and I think I even brought it up to you before, obviously while we were doing time. But like the way you guys were able to avoid violence, bro, whether directly or indirectly, I think that was also something that sustained your guys' time out there probably as long as it did. Because the minute violence comes in, bro, a lot of violence, that's usually when the target gets bigger and bigger. And so maybe touch on that, bro. Did you guys have like a policy? Did you talk about that?
Now, for everybody that be talking about, Mayo, 50, of course they didn't fool him. They couldn't trick him. They couldn't kidnap him. 50 years. He's been doing it. The legend, the big legend. You know what I'm saying? Like, we say things that we think are impossible. They ain't got the Flores brothers ain't got no bodies on their jacket. So you can say them dudes made it to the tippity top without no bodies on their name. Maybe somewhere down, somebody down the line, separate separated from them, but they pulled off what most people would say is impossible. What I believed was impossible. Shout out Zorada. She said, Shy, saludos. I'm late, but I made it. Never late, always on time. Appreciate you for being here. Salutes to the chat.
What was the thought process behind that?
That was ingrained from, into us from day one, like from early on that, and I've said it before, that you can't do both, man. You're going to be, a shooter, a killer in the street, or you're going to be a money maker. You try to do both, you're going to fail fast. And I'm not saying like, okay, you're making some money. I'm not talking about that money. I'm talking about like making some real money,
Right.
And surviving, like the long run, like continue to make money. And you can't do both. And I remember seeing my brother, and since he used to be in the neighborhood, and he'd front his guys stuff and they wouldn't pay him or whatever. And he could have, went about it different ways. And he definitely had the muscle for it,
Right.
But I remember it was true what he would say. He's like, man, if I started fucking up everybody who owed me money.
Shout out Bat for the subscription. I appreciate you. Shout out Adrian Torres. Salute Shy and Jay. Salutes Adrian. I appreciate you, sir. Today it is just me, and we are listening to Pedro Flores on the Normalized Crime Podcast with Alberto Vallejo. All right, that's what we're reacting to today. I appreciate you for being here. Salutes. Pete breaking some shit down over here, boy.
Half the 26 would be fucked up, He could have, went about it different ways, and he definitely had the muscle for it.
Bat just subscribed on YouTube.
Shout out TVV on the check-in. Shout out Luis Garcia on the check-in. Saludos. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Let's get them likes up. Salutes. I appreciate you guys for being here. We're hanging out on a Sunday night. 73 concurrent viewers, 38 likes. I appreciate y'all. We just hanging out. Salutes.
Right.
But I remember it was true what he would say. He's like, man, if I started fucking up everybody who owed me money, half the 26 would be fucked up,
That's a good point.
And you think, like, where does that end? Like, you're saying it's principle, but if I do principle's gonna send me to jail for the rest of my life over 10 G's, 5 G's, when I got millions on my mind. Yeah, and I got millions on my mind. You gotta think it through. Like, so when I would do business with people, it's always like, what could I afford to lose with this person?
Right. It's
If
like
I couldn't,
that old saying, right? Like you paid, whatever, $5,000 to figure out this person's character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't that, like, it didn't happen like that, because you vet the people you work with, you ask about them, and if it happened once in a while, maybe, but you always think like, okay, I could afford to lose this. I think he's good for this, and and most of the time, my philosophy about making money and about bringing good people is about trust and tell them, look, man, I don't need you to bring no bag with you. I'm gonna front them to you, and you go do your thing. And when you get done, call me.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want? If you're gonna take off with that, you're missing out on more money. Like, okay, all right, so we could have made that every week if you were,
Right.
So I learned early on too that, bro, in the Latin community, in the neighborhood I was coming from, them dudes are just haters. It was hard to make money with them. They don't want to make money with you. They want to make your money. They
want
or
your
you
shit.
make money for them.
Yeah, it's like weird. Like they're bad at paying, and dealing with the customer base I started with, and my brother's old customers. All the black dudes with were getting money, man. They want to connect because they got means to push it. They just want a line, and it was hardly a time where they would burn that bridge,
Right.
And, early on as well was consistency. Like, that's what I focused on. Like, make sure I had it. I make sure I had it coming, and I was always going to try to have it, and never say like, don't let the customers go somewhere else. And not only because you don't want to lose a customer, but you don't want them to bring back heat. You know, you want to keep
Resentment.
that in the family in a way, you know?
They want to be happy. They want to feel like they're getting that bag whenever they need that bag. They don't want to feel. They want to feel like they can owe a little bit whenever they need to owe a little bit. They don't want to feel like they can't get it. You know, got to keep them accommodated, or else they come back talking bullshit, crying. You know, bitching about what you didn't do for them, not what they didn't do for themselves.
Right.
So I really didn't deal with people like in the neighborhood. I think that's another part, you know, they would ask me something, I would just, you know, yeah, like just ignore them, like whatever, like I ain't got nothing, you know, I ain't got it.
Right. So you immediately understood that there had to be diplomacy, bro. You had to, you couldn't be, you know, a quick trigger. You had to be able to be, you know, like I said, man, to be able to diffuse a lot of that bullshit that goes along with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like I said early on, maybe I didn't have that mindset right away because I didn't have nothing to lose. But once I started getting the money, it was like, if I gave something to someone and they got me, I would have been like, that's a hard lesson learned. You know, that's my fault. You know, I let him do that to me, you know, and you keep, like I said, because we have in my mind, I was building a money making machine, you know?
Right.
And in my eyes, like I said, is, you know, sometimes the machine breaks down and you gotta, you know, waste some money on maintenance. And that was maintenance, you know, like, okay, but my machine's still up, you know?
Right. What do they call it? I forgot what the hell they call it, man. Basically, it's a part of overhead, like for major corporations.
Yeah.
They have a certain amount of money that they allot for like people stealing.
Yeah, I mean, but look, you think about it, like everybody wants to put like this idea of a TV show or some dude that tells you this is the way it is, that has never done it. Like you kill everybody who owes you money, you kill everybody that gives you their look. Come on, man, you're joking. This ain't Sons of Anarchy on TV, you know?
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, you know, it's real life, you know?
Give me some perspective. And what do you think, bro? Just a quick off the top of your head, bro. How much in losses you think you took?
I mean, I can't even tell you a number. A lot more than I made, I'm sure.
Yeah? More money than you made? You lost?
Man, I mean, it's a hard business, you know? It's a hard business when you think about losses. And later on, they come with like a big... They get bigger and bigger, you know? And the important thing, like I told you, is don't burn the bridges. Like, pay the people you owe, and that your name becomes like a solid name, and people...
Because the same ones you going to see on the way up, you going to see on the way down, and they going to see your ass too.
We're looking for you, man. They're looking for you to give you stuff, you know? I'm denying people work, like, nah, I'm good. I got it already, you know?
Right.
Next, you know, people want to throw you $200-300, like, I'm good, man. You know, thank you.
Damn.
You know, and...
That's a crazy feeling. That's a crazy thought, bro. That's a crazy thought.
No, I'm saying, but that's what happens when you got a good name.
Right.
You know, like, they want to make money with you. And then later on, my age didn't matter no more. Oh, you know what I want to say, though? I don't have no regrets about the avoiding the violence part, man. I feel like I have enough stuff on my shoulders that I carry around for all the mistakes I made. And that's just, you know, there's never a win for anyone, man. You know, at the end of the day, it's...
No, it's commendable, bro. That's why I brought it up, dog, because I think it's so unique, bro. You look at look at all the like guys that are on any kind of level, you know, maybe not even to the level of you, but below you. You know what I'm saying? All those guys are always 9 times out of 10 to end up in violence in some way. You know what I'm saying? Big drug dealers, you know.
I mean, it's part of the life,
Rayful, you know what I mean?
But you know what?
You got Alpo.
Ray don't have no violence on his case. I mean, he could do no violence, you know? So that's like no, he didn't.
He didn't. Right. But I'm saying, like, wasn't his crew, like, basically like a... Like
yeah,
a
I mean, when you think
crew?
about it, though, like, I would say, I can't imagine someone sitting in prison today doing life in their 30th year saying, yeah, I don't regret that.
Right. No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure, bro. What do we say? What do we say? Right? What do we say? And let me say it better, because I heard you say it on the I heard you say it on your podcast. But this is what it is, right? There's three types of people in federal prison: the ones that told, the ones that wish they told, and the ones that wish they had somebody to tell on.
Yeah,
Them are the three kinds.
I mean, because there's a lot of people that didn't have nobody to tell on. I agree with you, but I'm not saying that's like, that's just the way the feds work. They're made. That's what they do to get you, you know,
to do their job.
98% conviction rate, bro.
Part of to get you to do their job.
I agree with you, but I'm not saying that's like, that's just the way the feds work. They're made. That's what they do to get you, you know. I mean, and
98% conviction rate, bro.
Part of you're really up against someone more vicious than you, the federal government or the state. Like and then once you're locked up, you're like, oh, that's not fair, bro. What would you expect? You know?
Right.
I mean, honestly, not.
Right.
I mean, honestly, you're talking about you want to go to war with someone you can't beat, and you know, and at the end of the day, is how many people, bro, didn't, you know, in prison today, man, then, you know, they call lockdown and then doors lock and you have that little quiet time, you know, right before count, and you're just thinking like, damn, man, I'm stuck in this motherfucker, man.
Especially after you get off
the phone with your family, you know, life goes on. I'm saying, and you think about, like, even if it was for money or not, like, that shit hurts, man. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a victim. I did it, but I still got feelings. I don't, you know, like, and
yeah, hell yeah. No, that's important, dog. We're human, bro. I went through that same shit, dog. Like, you know, people are always going to be like, okay, well, look what you were charged with, you know, and I respect that, dog. There's a good part of me that tells me, you know, I'm grateful every day, bro. And there's a part of me that feels like I should have never been out of prison, you know, for the things I've done. But I was given a second chance, you know what I mean? And I'm here and I'm making the best of my second chance. And I feel like I'm a good person behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference. I made mistakes,
bro. It's a long road to redemption. And as long as you're trying every day, and I have the blessing of, you know.
And he said it's a long road to redemption as long as you're trying every day. And guess what? There's another truth that they all have to come to face. That for some people, in their eyes, for them, there is no redemption. You got to live with that too. And that's just it. That shouldn't be no, you know, there shouldn't be no water off a duck's back.
You and my kids, and I'm missing the shit on my
chance, and I feel like I'm a good person behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference. I made mistakes,
it's a long road to redemption, and as long as you're trying every day, and I have the blessing of, you know, being with my kids, and I'm missing the shit on my wife, you know, but you know, she, like, we're gonna get through this with God's help, man. Just get through it. Just keep praying for strength, and you know, and looking back, like, we've been through so much already, and the people who criticize, you know, they got it twisted. Like, you understand that, like, you're out there doing things really just to impress everybody else that don't care about you. You know, just to show everybody, like, you tough. Like, that don't pay the bills, man. Like, honestly, like, bro. I think what was harder was not doing it.
That's, you know, what's funny is I just had it's the way I opened my I did an interview with Blue. Yeah. You remember Blue? Mm-hmm. And that's the first thing I said, bro, was like, people, they wear that, the street code shit as a badge of honor, you know, but in reality, the hard people are the ones that get up every day and go to work, you know, and do the same
to that. Like bullshit. I said, choose the people who love you, man, your family, your mom, your dad, your kids, your wife. The people who really cared about you, that you know, ran through, you know, treated like rags, bro, and for your.
And let me just say this, bro. You know, for somebody who was on the side of it with you, you know, my ultimate, you know, my empathy is with you, bro. And obviously, you know what I'm saying, it was in my prayers, 100%. You know what I mean? Oh, sweetheart of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, a great mother, and so. I definitely just want to pass that along to you. I know that shit's got to be
difficult, and that doesn't mean that we're making excuses or anything. It's just, man, you know, like, you come home to try to, you know, put your life back together, and it's still falling apart. It's kind of difficult. And I'm saying, this is this is what happens when you out there and you're doing the things that everybody wants to do, like them fake ass rappers. Like, this is the life they want. This is what you want. This is what comes with it, you know?
Right.
My kids are heartbroken. Yeah, my kids, I look at my children, man, and I'm like, they didn't deserve this, man. They didn't sign up for this. It's not their fault. I'm selfish and I was greedy and I was doing all this dumb stuff. It's not their fault, man. I give them a chance, man, you know? Give them the chance that you didn't have. Yeah. And it's difficult to try to explain that to people, and I wish I had the word to be able to change some people's lives and say, man, it's you know, he's right, you know? Because you don't have to.
Right. No, 100%, dog. 100%. You want to be able to use your, you know, you want it to be as powerful as it really is, bro. You know what I mean? And that's what we aim for. We know that a lot of times it's falling on deaf ears because of the mentality that has to be flipped. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean it's not worth doing. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean it's not worth.
And for us, like the platform where, okay, I cooperated. I told my story to the feds and they used it to build a case. And so if anyone has the privilege of having a platform to reach other people and tell their story, it's obviously me. I already told, and you know, you.
Shout out Rilo. He said he really get perspective once you did your. You gotta slow it down, Rilo. Got your sentencing cut and it comes full circle. Now your family is suffering. Yeah, man, it's a constant thing. Now what's the other side of the coin? You know, they've been going through it so long. The other side of the coin is the shit. Their family don't exist. You know what I mean? It's a catch-22 indeed.
We already went through those stages and case, and so if anyone has the privilege of having a platform to reach other people and tell their story, it's obviously me. I already told, and you know, we already went through those stages, and it's, when I say this is to try to make people understand, like, not many of you are gonna make it to where I made it or anywhere close. And I walked away from it for a reason, man. People can get it twisted, like, oh, you were scared. First of all, hell yeah, I was scared. I was scared as
everybody would be.
You know, afraid of spending the rest of my life in prison when I was 25 years old, 27. You know, and I'm putting my family through the worst things, and I think that took a lot of, you know, balls, I took everything, man. I thank God for that strength to be able to just surrender, you know, and give it up.
Yeah, so I think
shout out Rilo. He said the family got sentenced in the very beginning of this case. I'm sure it takes a lot of praying. I couldn't even imagine. I don't know what that's like, but it's serious business, man. A lot of pain, a lot of hurt. Hit the like button, y'all.
I think that's a pretty good place to hold the interview up. He kind of gives you a lot there. I think we bounce back and forth a lot. Like I said, you know, just two guys talking, hanging out. But he definitely had a lot of things, man, that kind of blew my mind about his life and just how fast things.
All right, so now this is Albert speaking after the first part. Hundreds up, and let's get up to 55 likes if y'all want to keep going. Hundreds up in the chat, and we got to get to 55 likes if y'all want to move on to part 2. Otherwise, I'll end the live after what Alberto got to say right here.
Change for him, you know. I think, like, in comparison to, like, maybe my neighborhood, man, like, it would be really hard to move from, you know, maybe 5 keys or whatever to 100 keys. And I think that kind of shows, like, the market he was in, you know what I mean? The difference between me being in a smaller city opposed to Chicago, and just how crazy that was, how fast he scaled, and you're dealing with thousands and thousands of dollars, you know, at that young of an age.
Yeah, what I took away from this, and you can correct me if you disagree with this, but it was interesting because I compared his story a lot to your story. And the big difference I saw between the two is that when he got into the drug thing, it was all about money, and it was all about making as much money as humanly possible. Whereas when I hear you talk about drug dealing, was more about a way of getting the money you needed to survive, to be able to do the things you wanted to do. Where with him, he wasn't just trying to survive. He was literally building a business. Like I would seriously have somebody an entrepreneur sit down with this guy and talk to him, because I mean, his mind was throughout this whole process was so entrepreneurial. It was amazing. So
Yeah, guys like that usually always find a way to succeed. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think there's definitely, there's obviously similarities usually in any story, from our type of area.
55 likes, y'all. We got 50, 55. 5 more likes and we'll get to part 2. Salutes. We getting the hundreds up, but 55 likes. I appreciate it.
But I just think, man, it's crazy how, I guess he was obviously he was just wiser than I was, to choose, the path he did and understand it. And I just think when it came to money, I think I was naive too, obviously as a younger kid, I was naive to how vital it is, in life. And so I didn't put a value on it. And, obviously you grow up and you realize that's not true, but at the time, that's what I thought. And so maybe I don't want to say he was a visionary for knowing that money was important, but he definitely realized it a lot younger in life than I did.
All right, we hit our 55 likes. We're going to move on to part 2. I'm going to let this play while I refresh my drink. Salutes to y'all. I appreciate y'all. We can surpass them 55 likes, though. That ain't the threshold. Keep it moving. I appreciate y'all for being here. Shout out Meta Transport on the check-in. All right, shout out Felix Reyes, JP, Albert Flores, Zoraida, Big Blanc for all their hundreds up in the chat. Salutes Meta Transport. Let's get it. All right, I'm going to keep this playing. I'm going to go back 15.
That's not true, but, at the time, that's what I thought. And so maybe I don't want to say he was a visionary for knowing that money was important, but he definitely realized it a lot younger in life than I did,
Right. And like when he talks about there was a point in time where he kind of looked at, I think, joining a gang, because I think somebody else in his family was a Latin king. I think it was a Latin king.
Yeah.
But he kind of seen it as, well, I could go do that, but there's really no money in that. All the money is over here. And so he fleeted. So I don't know that I would call him like wiser than you or anything. He just chose a different path. And I mean, in hindsight, 50-50, right?
Yeah.
The path is, both paths collided, and he ended up in the same place together. So
so we're both idiots.
To say he was wise is, but it's just showing, the difference between, what your mindset was and what his mindset was. And I thought that was really interesting. So.
Definitely. What other thoughts did you have from what you've heard so far?
What thoughts did you guys have?
The big thing.
Let me know in the chat before we get to this part 2. What thoughts did y'all have? Let me know in the chat. Salutes.
That is the big thing I took from him. I can't imagine this thing. So.
Definitely. What other thoughts did you have from what you've heard so far?
And real quick, where is she? Shout out April. April said, what's sad is these older cats really be riddled with envy, jealousy. Big you a big dummy, big dumb bully. We're just praying off the talents of young upcoming kids. Salutes. Rilo said, But I think the fact that you all made the best of a bad situation and are changing people in the community's lives for generations to come, possibly the story has the power to make so many changes. You would only hope so. You would only hope something positive came from something so negative. All right. Salute to y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Let me know in the chat how y'all feel about what you've heard so far. And we are going to move on to part 2 shortly.
I mean, the big thing, that is the big thing I took from him. I can't imagine the stuff he was doing, like the carrying around massive amounts of drugs and stuff like that is just, I can't imagine, especially because I mean, when he was kind of hitting his prime, right? It was like he was maybe 19 years
He was
old.
a fucking teenager. What are you talking about?
So I mean,
Yeah.
what he was doing at the age he was at was just insane to me. And one other thing that I found also really fascinating about his story is you specifically talked to him about how they avoided violence the whole time that this was all going on. They tried to stay away from violence. And again, this just kind of outlined to me like how this was just a business transaction to them. It wasn't personal. It wasn't anything. It was just that, and I think he even said it in the podcast, where I was trying to build a machine that produced money, and killing people or hurting people didn't improve that process at all.
It cogs the wheels in the machine. All them blood and guts.
It only made that process weaker because now there was going to be more heat on him. So he just avoided that completely. And just that mindset was something that we really haven't had to date onto this podcast.
And I think like most people would kind of, I guess not necessarily find it justified, but they would kind of understand a little bit, you know, considering their story when like P being kidnapped. Like, I think somebody would understand if he went back and had that guy killed, right? Like, not saying that's the right thing to do, but just typically,
you in the game.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you shot your shot, you missed, I'm alive, you got to go. You know? It's as easy as that. Now, I think it's going to be interesting in the TV show. I hope they slick about it. It's going to be interesting because that's a point of contention that can be brought up throughout the show that we've never seen before. We've never seen kingpins with no bodies. Now, I'm sure there are bodies that come from, you know, the immediate surroundings of it. You know what I'm saying? And the people involved in those things, and so many people that died around them. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be something. It'll be a creative, a different thing than we've ever seen before that can be put together and put on a TV show. Is your main antagonists of the show are against leaving bodies in the wake of their business. I think if they handle that thoroughly, it's gonna be. It can lead to some great TV. You know, because that's an argument that's constant through the whole show. There's always a reason. You know what I'm saying? In the game, there's always a reason.
You know, that people in the street, that's like, you know, an eye for an eye kind of thing. And so the fact that they never used that or yielded that power was fascinating to me.
Yeah, and it is also fascinating from the perspective that I think most people would view this lifestyle as having that philosophy is going to be a big problem for you, because people are going to walk all over you. And it doesn't seem like that ever happened to him. You know?
Yeah, you know, and I think he understood something that a lot of people don't, or a lot of people didn't in that kind of game. And obviously I'm nobody to really say, because I wasn't nobody in that kind of. But Jonathan, I just think from a standpoint of, like, he understood that.
Thank you for your determined, dedicated hard work and your resilient self for all that you do for us and your great quality content. Shout out to the chat and Il Cartel members. Like and subscribe, it's free. 100.
Shout out Mr. Nice Guy. Wrench salutes Jonathan Pantoja for the $5 power chat. Says, salute Shael, my dude. Thank you for your determined, dedicated hard work and your resilient self. For all that you do for us and your great quality content. Shout out to the chat and Il Cartel members. Like and subscribe. It's free. Cut the bullshit. Right? Salute Jonathan Pantoja. We appreciate your power chat. And thank you very much, sir. Shout out Think Like a Kingpin on a check-in. We was just talking about you, bro. Salutes. All right, we're about to get into part 2 of your interview with Mr. Alberto Vallejo from Normalized Crime Podcast. And, you know, I told him get me the 55 likes. We got our 55 likes, so as promised, we are about to move on to part 2. Salutes to you. I appreciate you for coming through.
People loved money. And so if people are flooded with money, there's not going to be issues. You know, like, those are usually where issues take place and there's violence involved. and that's when somebody's not making enough money.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Period.
saying? And so I think they had a special knack in realizing how to just make everybody make money, and then that would alleviate a lot of the issues. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's the old, you know, just the kind of old mantra, man. Like if everybody's eating, if nobody's hungry, then obviously the violence is always lower. And so,
Yeah.
um,
It's all good until something bad happens. So as long as they prevented anything bad from happening, everything would just stay good, and they could just keep that machine producing cash for them.
right, and it was worth it for them to do that because it's an investment. Like you don't stop the money train from going. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you don't like violence is going to interrupt all the things that are in motion because like we just said, it's going to bring down heat. Now everybody's got to lay low. Like it changes things. And so
Mhm.
the fact that they were able to see that and be level headed in crazy situations it's something that, you know, takes a lot of discipline to do, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, and it,
Shout out, think like Kingpin. He said he's late. Covered his eyes now, man. Always on time. Salutes. What's wrong? You can't listen to yourself? You don't like hearing yourself? I'm not a YouTuber.
it's just weird because
Salutes.
I almost wonder if there's a lot more of what he's talking about within like drug cartels and stuff, because you always get the idea that like drug cartels, you do something, they're going to execute you on the spot for making one mistake or anything like that. And it's
Right.
like, but those, again, that's a foundation that's built 150% on making money. And you got to think that the people up top of those are realizing that, you know, us having a large kill count is not making us any more money. And
Right. And yeah, for sure. And, you know, just kind of as I'm sure people, you know, listen to the episode, like, listen, you know, this conversation I had with him, it's going on during the time where he's obviously doing a lot of personal things and he's got series and things he's working on. And so he kind of couldn't disclose some things. And so you can, you know, this interview probably could have waited, you know, but, the fact that he was willing to talk to me while he's got that going on just kind of shows, you know, he's a good friend, you know.
Mhm.
And so I think the next part of this is it gets interesting as well, and people can kind of get like I said, I think it's a unique twist on kind of what he has to be all the time for these talking heads that.
Shout out Velez 408 says, so they never took a big hit that had them on the verge of violence? Shit, I'm sure they did. I'm sure, shit. When you're passive, I'm sure you on the verge of violence all the time. You ready for some fucking violence, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Jonathan. He said, think that Kingpin. Blessings and prayers to you and your family, my dude. Salutes. But yeah, I'm sure they took hits that made them consider and think about it, you know? And then you go with your better judgment and you keep it moving, I would guess. But again, you guys, you lucky guys are privy to them in our chat. So when if they choose and decide to answer, they can answer. You know? But you've been heard. But that's my answer. My answer is hell yeah, they was probably always on the verge of violence. Like, fuck it, let's just kill all of these motherfuckers. Get this shit over with and we good. All right? Enough. You know what I'm saying? But they went with their better judgment and, you know, they knew what they knew. And it had worked for them. It had worked for them so far.
Interview him opposed to, you know, just somebody who's hanging out with him, you know. So definitely looking forward to the next part for everybody.
yeah, totally. So, all right, well, you got anything else, or should we wrap this one up?
Nope, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, y'all ready for part 2? Let's go.
Are y'all ready to party? Let's go! Get your hands up! 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 Get your hands up!
Salutes. Let's get it. Part 2.
You are listening to Normal.
Just
Oh,
you know,
okay, I thought
Pedro
that was
here.
somebody else's.
Look at
Hey, Shy, I wonder if the twins look at the people that didn't snitch on them as stupid people. You should go through our exclusives. And I'm hoping none of them answer that for you in the chat. Because you would have the answer to that if you've listened to everything that we've discussed with them on this channel. But you only come around when we're live. You got to go pay attention. And those answers are out there. You know? Put some work in, man. They're out there. Shout out Zoraida. Let's get to this part 2. Hundreds. Let me hit this little hundreds right here. Bow, 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 bow. All right, we lost a few people, but good riddance. Right, we about to hit 60 likes. Salutes. Part 2. All right.
Gang life and all the effects that come along with it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Normalized Crime. I'm Eric.
What's going on, Berto here?
And Berto, we're back again with another episode, and we are back with part 2 of Pedro's interview.
I think with this interview, man, with this part of the interview, I think there's some glaring things that stick out about just, differences that, I asked P about in lifestyle changes. I think we can look forward to that. It's just a good way to wrap up the interview. I think.
Matter of fact, also look, I even give you the link to all of our exclusives with the twins, and they've answered that question in there. Boom, there's the playlist. You ain't even got to look for it. Shout out Jonathan. Lord knows in the heat of the moment, someone may or may not feel like bathroom breaking someone. We got to relax. When the time comes, we'll just...
Put him in a fucking bedroom. But
not yet. Not yet. Salute Zoraida.
It might have got cut short a little bit, and we kind of stayed on, I guess, one topic for a long time. But, being that I can reach out to him, I think there'll definitely be some follow-ups to it. But, I think the way it ends is pretty good.
Yeah, and especially if you're into that world of entrepreneurship, this is a great episode for anybody. So with that, let's just take it away and we'll finish up part 2 of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the, bro, look at, I think about your story, bro. And I think it's easy for people to assume that it was all, they see the money and they see and it's all glitz and glamour. But you know what I mean? Like, knowing you, having conversations with you, bro, like, yeah, man, that shit was not easy. That shit was not, and I think you guys do get a little bit of a bad rap, bro, as far as like being, almost like poster childs for cooperators when it comes to the scene in Lower Cartel, and rightfully so. You guys were upper echelon, but I will say this, bro. I don't know how much you knew him, or maybe you can touch on it, but like Vicente, right? Like, I didn't know him, but I know of his story, and I know what everybody has always said about him. And, you want to talk about violence. I mean, I've heard a lot about him with violence, money, the amount of influence that he had.
Think like a kingpin said, bro, all these wrenches make me nervous. You want a wrench, bro? I'll give you a wrench. I'll give you a wrench that and then here's the prerequisite for the wrench. Every time you're here and your brother's here at the same time, if I need to clap your brother and send his ass to the bathroom, it'd be you that clap your brother. All right? Don't worry, I'm going to put the clap into effect, man. It'd be you that clap your brother, all right? I'll give you a wrench. He pulled his gun out on y'all, yo. He worried. CW ain't getting no goddamn wrench. That's never going to happen.
Compared to you guys, I think for him to get 1 year more than you guys, I don't know. This shit seemed kind of sketchy
Honestly,
to me.
I think that for him it was a blessing for him, and like I'm all for it. Like, man, we're on the same path. Like, I get nothing out of him getting more time or less time. So because. Yeah. No, my point. Yeah, and I apologize if I came off like that. That my point was more saying like how the judicial system was biased in a sense towards you guys. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. It was more directed in that point. One of the reasons was that I was homegrown. Like, I'm from Chicago.
Right.
I'm from.
Here's my response to CW saying he'll get one day.
Shit. Your own backyard,
Right.
and
that makes sense.
They could understand people from somewhere else coming to make money or doing it, but when it's you doing it, like right here, like in their face, and I feel like, yeah, man, they're
Man,
not.
I never thought of it like that. That
Like-
makes sense. So
Oh, and then not only that, but take a step back and they're like, wait, so you're gonna do all this, and you're getting away with it, and then you're gonna stop, switch it up, and thank you. I mean, obviously, for someone in our situation to be able to come forward with the amount of information we had and everything we did to build this case was lovely to them. I mean, it's a home run.
yeah, bro,
But-
they never would have been able to do
Yeah.
what you guys
But at the
were
same
able
time,
to do for them, bro.
you're dealing with
It wouldn't
regular
happen.
people, like human beings that they're probably like, oh, you little shit, you think you're gonna and live the rest of your life happy? Like, we're not.
Right.
We're not. It
Right.
doesn't work that way,
Right.
And I
Almost
mean, if
made
you
it
think about it,
personal.
like, okay, and look what that's when people don't understand the level of this. Look what I had to go through just to get a 14-year sentence. I want people to go back, listen to our podcast, listen to everything I had to go through, man.
Yeah, like that's why I did that, because it just popped in my head when you say that. Like, damn, bro. Like, I mean, near death experience after near death experience. Like,
And I say, you know what? It
being-
takes a lot of balls to wear a wire while you're down there in Mexico messing with these people,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a little different than a
Yeah.
gang meeting, bro.
Or a drive-by.
You know what I'm saying?
And then, like I said,
it's-
And that's why the TV show or the movie or whatever is so important, man. Because there's emotional value in their story so profound that if they can't tap into that, they're missing something. You know what I'm saying? They're missing something. So many different levels, so many cats with 9 lives situations in their lifetime. You know? If they cinematically are able to pull that off thoroughly, they got to win it.
it's a little
the
bit.
gruesome
It's a
part
little
of
bit.
it, right? Even if you're out there and you're doing stuff like, bro, you're in your guy's situation, when you get down there, man, that shit becomes so real to you of how it is to be in a real war, man. It's different.
Right.
All right, so we're going to do this quickly. I believe Hello Bello is CW's. CW, type in the chat right now. Right at this moment. CW, if you're not the next one, I believe CW and Hello Bello are the same person. And John Jones and all of them. Might be split up, but don't worry, today you won't troll me. We'll just get you out of here, and if you want to troll me, pay the $2 and use the power chat link that's in the description. All right? We're not here to talk about rap. Hello Bello, Mama Richo. All right. Angel Diaz, he don't have to answer any questions at this moment. He can if he choose to. Also, Junior said, take balls to take your charges like a man. Wearing a wire was a pussy without not having balls. No, not me. My other one was... Nah, you kind of took long, bro. Dude, I didn't get to Reno. All right, so the Mamavichos have arrived, all right? When I give green lights on the Mamavichos, we get them out of here. And if they want to troll, they could pay the $2 and they could troll from the power chat. We got shit to do. Salutes.
Huge. It's like the difference is so like night and day about the kind of shit that goes down there.
Right.
You
Well, the difference is that here's the difference, bro. Is down there. There's no value for human life.
It feels like that
There's no
here
value
as well,
on it.
but Berto, like you in a gang, you don't expect them dudes to come kick in your door and take your mom and your brothers. That's what I'm saying. You don't expect that. I mean, if you did, you'd probably be like, hold on, I don't know if I want to, I don't know if I want to do this,
Right.
And one of the things that touched me a lot,
Right.
is that there's a dude that was part of he was part of a hit squad. And I remember he told me a story that he went to someone's house. And they surrounded the house, bro, and they're gonna go pick this dude up. Like we're gonna kill him, and that he was shooting it out with him.
Yeah.
I shared this to you because it touched me, because he said that like they couldn't get into his house, They were shouting at him.
And don't get it fucked up. Who is it? Also, you are entitled to your opinion. He's entitled to say what he gonna say. You entitled to say what you gonna say. It's the other, once the trolls come in and start trying to get attention, like, talking about my rap shit and this, that, the other, that ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about. So I'll green light them. We get them the fuck out of here. If you got an opinion, you got an opinion. Y'all can say it. You say it. If he decides to tell you fuck you, and he tell you fuck you, tell him fuck you back. But we also ain't gonna have people over here talking about how tough they are online. Fuck out of here. All of y'all texting. Everybody. There's not one of y'all that's standing up talking with your voice on this shit. You're all texting. So I don't want to hear it. Save that shit.
And then he kept telling him, look, I got my family, My family's here with me.
My family.
At a moment of trying to say, hey, listen, chill, like I got my family here. And then they told him, look, man, come to the door and I give you my word, I ain't gonna do shit to your family. And he told me, man, that's your word? Like, man, I'm telling you, come to the, come. And he said that they were talking to him towards the window, a broken window. And then dude's like, bro, that he came to the door and that they just did him. And they left his family alone. But you think about what he had to, at that moment, you got to think like, he's like, man, let me protect my wife and kids, And, sacrifice his own life. I think about that in my situation. I felt like I had to do that for myself too. Like,
I'm gonna go back on that story real quick.
He's like, man, let me talking to him towards the window, bro. Come to the door, and then he kept telling him, look, I got my dude up. Like, we're gonna kill him,
Right.
It's like there's a dude that was part of he was part of a hit squad, and I remember he told me a story that he went to someone's house. They surrounded the house, bro, and they're gonna go pick this dude up. Like, we're gonna kill him, And that he was shooting it out with him.
Yeah.
I shared this to you because it touched me, because he said that, like, they couldn't get into his house, They were shouting at him, And then he kept telling him, look, I got my family, My family's here with me. At a moment of trying to say, hey, listen, chill, like I got my family here. And then they told him, look, man, come to the door and I give you my word, I ain't gonna do shit to your family. And he told me, man, that's your word? Like, man, I'm telling you, come to the, come. And he said that they were talking to him towards the window, a broken window. And then dude's like, bro, that he came to the door and that they just did him. And they left his family alone. But you think about what he had to, like, at that moment, you got to think, like, he's like, man, let me protect my wife and kids, And, sacrifice his own life. I think about that in my situation. I felt like I had to do that for myself too, like, under, different circumstances, but it felt that way.
Well, I mean, the fact that they let his family live, that makes you feel a little better.
Shout out also Junior. He said, we can't let the twins get away with making it seem like it take more balls to snitch than it takes to take your charges like a man. I don't think that's what we're doing. Twins should have stayed at McDonald's. I don't think that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's what we're doing at all. We're letting them tell their story though. Right? And honestly, until you're the guy that's sitting there wearing the wire in front of the guy that can boil you, like, what's it worth? Yeah. Salutes. Shout out Vasi. Good-ish shy. Salutes. Then I think like Kingpin said, also Junior, what you have planned, bro, if I wasn't afraid of... Also Junior, what you have planned, bro, if I wasn't afraid of Chapo Maya, what make you think I give a shit what you say? Salutes. But, like, that's my point. We're not... Everything ain't mutually exclusive. Okay? They told... I'm talking about the... If you're watching a movie, I'm talking the part where there's a recorder in the pocket and there's beads of sweat and there's nerves and there's emotion, but he got to play it cool and he got to dead-eye these guys and he got to make them say what he want them to say. That part of the movie, that's the part I'm talking about. While y'all is obsessing, you know what I'm saying, sucking rat tail and complaining and so-and-so cooperated and picking and choosing if it's this one or that one, I'm thinking about that part of the movie. You talking about some other shit. That'd be my point with you, motherfucker. I ain't see what J.R. Ryder had to say. I missed that. If snitching can get your family unalive, take some balls. Salute Gordo Gordito. Think like a kingpin, say you a little ninja. Sit back and watch the movie. I'm watching the movie. I'm watching the movie, dog. You know what I'm saying? You a little ninja. Sit back and watch the movie. It's the only way you can get an idea to be a boss. What's good, Shy? What's good, Twin? Salute, JR Ryder. I appreciate you for checking in. Please to hit the like button if you have yet to do so. And, you know, we chilling. Shout out Dan Foghat. Salutes to you. What's that? Philippines, right? Is it the Philippines? Salutes. Let them stay, bro. I'll sign a lot. Let them stay, bro. I'll sign a lot. My plea deal. And send it as a souvenir. Hey, the stands might want that, man. It's a collector's item for them.
Better, you know what I mean? But you're right, bro. The ultimate sacrifice. That's what it is, and it's every day, bro. It's crazy that how easy it is to overlook it. You know what I mean? Like, people live day to day, like normal people, and yeah, you know you run the risk of a car accident every day, right? Like, you know that you could die in a car accident. You never know. But in that life, man, the risk factors go up a lot more. You know what I mean? And then you're creating it 9 times out of 10. You're creating it.
I did that. I put myself in that situation. And then when people say savages and, you know, that life, what it brings, I heard a Navy SEAL the other day, like on one of those YouTube channels, and he talking just like them cartel dudes. Yeah, we'd go into houses, kicking all the doors. Yeah. Sometimes the wife's got it too. You know, and you're like,
bro, listen, bro. I got a homie right now, bro.
Again, what do I always say? It's just gangs. Everybody got their side. You know, what's the difference between them sending 100 Marines to your town to kick in doors for information than a cartel kicking in to oppress you? That's what it is. Yeah, like, also, you make yourself sound 12 years old, but it's okay. I guess. You gotta show your intelligence. I'm sure you think you're hilarious. But again, I get it. Okay, rats, not bosses. It's done, though. Right? Now what else? Nothing else? You can't talk about nothing else? Your brain about this fucking big, dog. Fit right in the crook of that, you know. It is what it is. Stop retracting shit. We already read your misspelled mess. Salutes, hundreds up in the chat for y'all. Hit the like button. We hanging out. The Mamarichos have arrived. My enemies are billionaires. Who you beefing with? Some suckers? Beef with himself. He beefing with his typewriter right now. It just be like that. One legal. What's that all about? Pete next. Salutes. We hanging out. We in our second hour of the live stream. You said that already. Oh, so now you're kind of spamming. Like, you're boring, dog. We deserve better trolls over here. Y'all are weak as fuck.
That is an Army vet, and I'm gonna have him on the show, bro. And
shout out Rilo. Shy, don't use Google Pay. Don't use Google Pay. Haven't since they screwed me. Quit using Google Pay. Cause shit, I sent fees on Cash App. Somehow Google charged me on a membership. Charge it back on them. I don't know what that's about. I mean, if you already had a membership, they probably renewed your membership, or did they get an extra membership? I don't know. We'll talk about that in the Discord. Hit me in the Discord. Juan Quintero, I missed that message. Yes, sir. At home, smoking a good cigar with a drink in my hand. Salutes. That's where he think like a rat. He think like a rat, smoking a good cigar at the crib with a drink in his hand. Saying the truth isn't trolling, Shy. I get that. But repeating it over and over and over again so that no other conversation happens is the move of somebody with one thought in their head. And I would hope you have more than one thought. Let's move on to something else. We heard you. And then you laugh at yourself. Worst comedian laugh at their own jokes, bro. Me, I'm the worst comedian. I do it all the time. Only one kicking indoors is legal. Yeah, only one kicking indoors is legal. That's a fact. Quote unquote legal. Legal is whatever they decide it is. What do you guys think about Fedit reaction on Mile? When did he do that, JR Ryder? Myron did that? I haven't seen that yet. I'd like to do a reaction to that. Hopefully he don't clap us. Also, I'm not saying you can't have your opinion. I'm saying You just keep repeating it. Like you spamming it and that shit's boring. And I get it. You feel like you're talking to a rat. Okay, ha ha ha. You get to talk to them and tell them that. But like the rest of the conversation can't happen because you want to do that. Very short thoughtedness. You know what I'm saying? But that's the internet. You probably one of those guys. You know, you ride the line. I see it. The twins are seeing how the old connects from Mexico are falling apart little by little. Maybe thanking God they made the right choice at the right time. I'd agree with that, Juan Quintero. Right, trolls got one thing they can say. All I was saying is it takes more balls to stand up to charges and snitching. It probably does, right? It does, right? It takes more balls to stand up than snitching, right? But to stand up is boom, you got locked up, you go to jail. If I'm talking about the movie, the shit that happened, the shit was a movie. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking about the movie, I'm talking about the decision was made. The mission started happening. This is the movie. This is the action part of the movie that we're watching. The beads of sweat. The terror. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's different than just snitching and no. There's actions that take place with it. That's what we're talking about here. Yeah, they told. That's just one part of it all. Everybody else told too. And you don't. Do you get a Vicente? He just mentioned Vicente. Did you get a Vicente like that? I just don't get it with y'all, man. It feels hypocritical. And then everybody call me the asshole. It is what it is. Shout out Miss Jones. Enough already. Also, Junior, we get it. If you got a problem with rats, leave. No, here's the thing. Like, have your problem with rats, bro. But just expand your brain into thinking about what's next. Also, Junior, get to a place where you're relevant. Now holla at me. Get some ton status and we'll see. J.R. Ryder, I missed that shit, man. I don't know what you was typing. Foghat said, I'm from Chicago, little village in Pilsen. After the military, I retired in El Paso. Met a few of these cartels from Juarez and two close friends from there. They told me how some of these... I didn't get the rest of that. Let him stay. He needs Jesus. Oh, he hasn't offended me enough to get put in the fucking... He's good. I got one thing to say. If you ain't never been south of the border with the big dog, stay the F out the conversation. Jay already said you should, bro. Should what? Because we've had a lot of talking since whatever it is you responded to. You should, bro, because I bet it's way different than... Yo, y'all got to slow down with your Twitter fingers or with your text-to-speech because this shit ain't making sense. You should, bro, because I bet it's way different than goes Jay feels it went down. I just had a stroke. Dan Fogger has said dudes are working both sides of the fence. They were snitching on each other, and a few of them were working with the feds. It's a tactic. He said his Twitter fingers is tied right now. Salutes. Oh, fed it. Okay. Yeah, I would like to do a breakdown of that. I'm going to take a look at that. I'm going to take a look at that. Salutes. I appreciate it. Peter watching the register when the register should be watching him right now. Shout out Peter Hassaj. Shai, this was a great week for me. I won my case against McDonough's after 3 years. All right, we're going to have to talk about that. What the hell is that all about? Because my restaurants are called Nicky D's. Salutes, boy. He said Nicky D's. Very slick. I see what you did there. I use the same colors. They've been holding me back for 3 years because I would have had more. So this is for you because you're my guy. Salutes to you, Peter. Peter, salutes to you. I appreciate your donos. I hope you don't think you're buying a wrench. Salutes to you, though. I appreciate you. Congratulations on your wins against the big giant monster. All you did was sample some shit. You took a sample and you made a dope beat. You put a rapper on it, and they came after you. You win. You win. So it's on you. Salutes. All right, we're gonna talk. Advertising later, man. Get everybody involved in this Nicky D situation. Salutes. Shout out Jonathan. He want to know what Think Like a Kingpin smoking on. Salutes J.R. Ryder. That's not a bad idea. I think I'm gonna do that again. Shout out Peter Hassaj. We appreciate you, sir. Also said, think like Kingpin, I don't commit the crime if I can't do the time. Unlike you'll do anything as long as you know you can snitch. All right. Hey, Junior, where is the real Oso? Let him talk for you. He's junior. That is funny. Peter said, shout out Peter for the $4.99 super chat. He said, "Give me my wrench before I take you to court." Good luck with that. You got to have a good lawyer to find any right to a wrench. All right. Like I said, I hope you ain't buying a wrench, but I appreciate you. All right. And you have officially just broke your non-wrench talk timing, and you boom. You mentioned the wrench, so we start at 0 again. You didn't even make it like. I think you went like 7 days this time without mentioning the wrench. People have come and gone in this time, and now you just broke the streak. You fucking around. But I appreciate you, Peter, and congratulations to you, bro. Best wishes. Hope your business flourishes, and as long as you ain't, hurting nobody, may everything work out for you and move forward. Salute. All right. Again, shout out Peter Hassaj for the $4.99 super chat and the $49.99 super chat and the $4.99 super chat. Salutes. All right, congratulations, Peter. Thank you, Peter. Mario, what's good, family? Salutes, Mario Bustamante on the check-in. Salute so much soul on the check-in. I appreciate you, sir. Shout out Bebo, Sheldon. Also ain't no. Think like Kingpin. Saludos, Young Jizzle. Just got back from the Primo. Salutes, bro. Glad you made it home safely. All right. Better late than never. Always. Always on time. No worries. All right. There you go, Sheldon and P in the chat. Salutes. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. We're gonna continue going on this podcast. It was Pedro Flores and Alberto Vallejo of Normalized Crime. All right. I guess I'm on a struggle bus, but what the hell is the wrench biz about? It's just the moderators, people that been here a long time that are trusted to act like adults and be able to, time out a troll if I need a troll timed out, or, do something that I really can't get to at the moment. You know what I mean? The people that help out around here, and, it causes controversy sometimes and people talking about it, but yeah, like think like a Kingpin said, the wrench is like a pistol, so those are the gunners. Salutes. And the people that stick around and that I know that are here to mess with my channel and be here and not threaten each other with physical violence and get along and figure out what's best for my chat, what we need going on, what kind of distractions. If I need to put a green light on somebody, they're there. So salutes to them. Don't F with them. Salutes. Juan Quintero said, also sounds like B-Rad from Malibu's Most Wanted. Bro, because you don't know, bro. You got to stand up. All right. Shah has a lineup of soldiers. Salutes. Peter Hassad said he was the second person with a wrench, but it got stolen. Nah, he gave it up. None got. It's like a Legend of Zelda game when it comes to Peter Hassad and his wrench. But it did not get stolen. Can't steal nothing around here. Salutes. Let's get back into this interview.
I mean, just ruthless, bro.
Yeah, we'd go into houses, kicking all the doors.
Yeah.
Sometimes the wife's got it too. And you're like,
bro, listen, bro. I got a homie right now, bro, that is a Army vet, and I'm gonna have him on the show, bro. And just ruthless, bro. But it's not him as a person. They do that to them, bro. They almost dehumanize our troops, bro, to make them feel shit, bro.
My comparison is that these dudes down there, they feel they're in a war as well for their own cause, whether we like it or not, or understand or agree with it. They feel that way. Like this is what we're doing, and we might glorify our troops and our the people who are out there who fight for our freedom, but they're doing some of the same stuff. With justifying the reason. Like it's still they're doing it. He talking about he went and killed.
Yeah, and they're good people just following orders, bro.
He talking about
what I'm saying?
To kill everybody, and families were in them houses. They were kicking in the doors, and and like you said, the wife moved too fast and she got killed too. When you hear that, it's like that's the same kind of stories I was hearing down there. It's a weird, it's like a thin line between well, at least what the way we see is what's right and what's wrong.
And you know what's funny, bro, is I was with Vicente's little brother, Serafin. And super cool kid. He was in my workout car. I was with him for a couple years too, bro. He was a cool kid.
We're talking about Serafin Zambada, Mayo's son. This fucking guy. Listen, Peter, I told you, I hope you're not trying to buy a wrench, bro. Does anybody think Peter's trying to buy a wrench? I'm hoping you're supporting the channel on that level. Because the channel deserves it. Because the channel goes hard. You know what I'm saying? And while you're watching the register, you know what I'm saying, you can be listening to the channel, all right? Peter says, Shy, you should do a poll if I deserve it back. Sheldon said, oh, so hell yeah, the twins did the right thing. At the end of the day, we're going to have good kids and family, and that's all life is about. All right, text to speak. Salutes. Jonathan said, Peter, stay focused on the content. You got to understand something. He's dying to put you in the bathroom. Think like a kingpin. Hope you get good news on your wife getting some extra home confinement or programming to come home early. Salutes. Thank you, Rilo. Yeah, when God decides, all right? Now, wrenches. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we should give Peter his poll? Peter, I think you trying to buy it. Like, this ain't how, politics works over here in the ill cartel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where you could buy a wrench. As far as I'm concerned, just shut up about the wrench and be consistent. You a boss, right? Don't that sound like it makes sense? Shut up about the wrench. Be consistent. You never know. Good things happen to good people. All right? But if you're trying to buy a wrench, then, stop donating right now. All right? We're here for support, but we can't be bought. Salutes. J.R. Ryder said, I ain't hot with tools anyway, but I definitely will support your channel. Regardless, boss. Salutes to you. I think that Kingpin. Yes, give him a wrench, bro. He's a soldier. Salutes. What's up, Big Shy? Sending love from Vegas, Papa. Happy growth to you, my boy. Be blessed. Salutes to you, Vampiro. I appreciate you. You guys are wild. If you want to test a man's character, give him power, a wrench. I did one time. Then all he did was flaunt that shit. Peter was dancing around with that fucking wrench. Yeah. I hope his burgers are good. Yeah, don't skimp on the burgers, Peter. Watch the chefs. Well, no. Let the artists do their thing. Just hire the right chefs. Yeah, watch the register. Leave the chefs alone. Capo's vote. Salutes. I'm gonna get back to the topic at hand. In the meantime, between time, salutes. Did I miss anything? What I miss? Nah, I didn't miss nothing. Peter said, top notch. Look me up online. Salutes. Nikki D's. And you could probably get it for some good money to do some promo for you for some low money. Nikki D, the first female MC. Nikki D still living? Let me make sure Nikki D still living. I think she living. Or was I sad for her one day? Let's see. Is Nikki D living? Where's she at? Yeah, Nikki D's living, I believe. First female MC, salute. First one with a record, that's for sure. Top notch, look me up online. Much love, Twins, PJ Flores. Much love, Chirac, salutes. I'm famous for chili dogs and grilled chicken pita. Yeah. But Mickey D's held me back for years. I want to go nationwide. Paid a lot of lawyers, but I won. Salutes, man. Congratulations. It's good news. See you here all the time. One side of 26. Salutes. Who's that? That's for Julio Cardenas. Salutes to Julio Cardenas on the check-in. I appreciate you. Shout out Peter and his chili dogs. I plan to have a chili dog and a grilled pita one day. Salutes. Get it.
But Vicente's little brother, Serafin.
Zambada.
And super cool kid. He was in my workout car. I was with him for a couple years too, bro. He was a cool kid. But, he envied you guys. It was funny. He envied you guys because he told me he was giving me basically like an analogy, but he was explaining why he like envied you guys, and he was just telling me like he's like, my dad makes money. You know what I mean? Obviously talking about Elmayo. He's like, my dad makes money. He's like, and Chapo makes money. He was like, but they both fund wars. He's like, you know how expensive that is? He was like, the twins, they don't have to fund wars. He was like, they're smart. He's like, think about that. And when you do the math, bro, like I imagine, bro, they're full militia, basically, right?
Well,
I mean,
they have to do it now. They're in this hard place. They got to the top, and they did a lot of people dirty too, and they get into wars with people. But it's about survival. If they don't do that, imagine after all the dirt you did, and you don't have the money to buy protection no more.
Yeah.
What do? Like, you can't. Yeah. It's like you have to keep going. Like, and I felt like that. Like when I was down there on the run and doing it, I felt like I had to keep going. Like it didn't matter how much money I had. I just couldn't stop because then what? You never know. Now I'm just a sitting duck now. You know, it just.
You had to have multiple options. Did you know Seraphim? I don't know. I mean, obviously you knew Vicente, right?
I don't know Seraphim. I'm gonna tell you regardless. They have they're super.
They say no.
Then what? You never know. I'm just a sitting duck now. You know, it just.
You had to have multiple options. Did you know Seraphim?
I don't know.
I mean, obviously you knew Vicente, right?
I don't know Seraphim. I'm gonna tell you regardless. They have they're super. Their whole family, like people think everyone's just like. Ruthless. I mean, they're like educated and they could be the kindest people you've ever met, you know, outside the business, you know?
Yeah, and I 100%, bro. I met like his mom, I met his sister, his aunt, you know what I'm saying? I used to see him on a visit. Super cool, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
and
did business with him.
You know, and I feel bad for them because obviously they have a disconnect because they're born into it. And I used to think about that. Like they don't know how to be someone's friend. They learn it's about them. Like people die to protect them. Someone's always giving their life for them, you know? And they don't know how to like, you know, take one for someone else, you know?
Take one for the team. Ask one of the juniors to take one for the team. Hell no. I don't know, man. Corridos are you know, they're writing them as we speak. Shout out, think like a kingpin. He beat the Burger Cartel. He definitely beat the Burger Cartel. Salutes to Peter for beating the Burger Cartel. He said it was hard, bro. I wouldn't doubt it. And not only that play on words, that's some slick MC shit that they're used to crushing people like, you know, McDonald's and Nike and shit. So salutes to you, man. Make it count.
And we talk about that, like the people on the top, they're not used to like sacrificing their own people for no one else. They're used to someone doing it for them. So you could be a great friend to them, but it's hard to imagine they're going to be the same friend back to you. And so many people in their lives, you know, everyone's, you know, their circles change so often. Why everyone's getting killed or going to jail? You know, I mean, you know, they've lived through generations of people, you know?
Yeah, bro, that's got to be a gift and a curse, right? I mean, like you born into it, and that's kind of how it was, man. Like having a conversation. I used to talk to him all the time about that shit, and he used to be like, basically like he had to go back in some sort of way, you know? And I wonder how much of that is true, bro. Like I think about dudes even dudes we were down with, bro. Like you wonder, like, what's the next step, you know?
I mean, they got one that it leads them down the right path, and then they just, for the sake of other people who've come after us, that they do the right thing, man. You know, because when one of us messes up, and I say like people that let go, it looks bad. It looks bad on everyone. And I think there's a lot of people who really are like serious about changing their lives. I feel like for sure, you know, just I'm on a different path, you know, like I appreciate, you know, every day I'm I'm alive and I'm free and I'm able to, be there for my children in ways I never thought I could, especially with my wife
Yeah.
not being here. And you have a lot of time just to think about those mistakes you made,
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. I think that what you allow yourself to be motivated by, bro. Like for me though, like I know that the lost time, where I lost a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? I lost most of my life. And the first instinct is always you try to get that back somehow. And sometimes you're worse off as a person, bro, when you try to revisit something that died. You know what I'm saying? That died during the time period. And so I know what you're talking about, bro. Just growth in general, learning. You know what I mean? Being able to adapt.
It's
Like
difficult.
it's been a challenge though.
To
You know
come
what I'm saying?
home and have the identity crisis of who you are today, and it's hard, that everything that you were is gone, and I'm not crying about it, but it's something a new life to get, used to and comfortable with, and we got to see it as a privilege, and to be able to have this opportunity,
Hell yeah, bro.
Not many people have it. Like I said, what are you
especially
gonna do with it? Like, there's people, you meet people in prison all the time that they're just a whole different person. You think like, man, this dude, I hope they let him out too,
Yeah, you know who I was looking at the other day, bro, was I and it's a cool, I guess it's probably a cool little something to share too. It's something that I noticed about you during our time when we were together. We were in the joint, and we were with this guy. Some of our, I guess, viewers might know who he is. He was the leader of the, what was it, the North Valley Cartel. Good old Juan Ramirez Chupeta. And I remember we were with him, bro, and this is something I'll never forget. So for people that don't know, right, like when you're in prison, like everybody's the same, right? Like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you have money because you can only spend so much, like everybody has 360, whatever it was. And so obviously, yeah, there's ways around it, but the concept remains the same, right? That everybody's the same. And so when all things are equal, right, and anybody can spend money and buy everything, there is no like, I guess like hot commodity because you can get everything. But every now and then you'll have something that's like off market, right? And I say that because I remember like when I think it was like the first day Juan got to the unit, me and you were coming back from working out, and you introduced yourself to him, and you guys were talking briefly, and he seen your watch, and you had a G-Shock on, and he said something about it, and you just took it off and gave it to him, and like obviously he wanted to buy it, but it was more about like just how you were, you know what I'm saying? And I think that kind of stood out to me, like damn, like it's weird seeing shit like that because people don't really move like that.
They knew how to politic. They knew how to politic. They knew how to talk to people, how to impress people. You know what I'm saying? How people say a la orden or mande, they was trying to live that to build, to build what they was building. But it became a part of, it is who you are, how you handle things. Shout out Philly, 500 pounds on the check-in. Julio Cardenas said, Pete and Jay, I love hearing your conversations. I love listening to your past experiences and how you're on the right path. God bless, hermano, bendiciones. Juan Quintero, love this. He said, a cat helps a chick, takes it home, feeds it, showers it, and plays with it. Once it grows, it eats it. That's how them high rollers of them cartels look at their people. Salutes. I appreciate that comment. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Right? It's what is it? The scorpion and the frog? Freddy Lopez. Members going to Midway, getting work from Jay in 2002. Cool Twins, salutes. When you got a good heart, good things happen to you. Amen to that, Peter. Well, yeah, I guess. Salutes. All right. Salutes. You would hope, man. Sometimes the good things happen to these dirty, rotten motherfuckers, man. But salutes. I get it. I'm trying to be more positive. I appreciate it, Peter. Salutes. All right. Let's get it.
I seen like two people who obviously he was pretty high up on the food chain. You know what I'm saying? And obviously you were where you were at, and so I think it was kind of like one of those nostalgic moments. Like, damn, dog, like it's crazy, like seeing something like that. You know what I mean? Like we're just here. I am just normal folk. I mean, because being honest, bro, like we would have never rubbed elbows. You know what I mean? Especially with like somebody like Juan.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
and I feel like with older people who've done it for so long, I feel like they have a bigger struggle because, I mean, I was only in my 20s. I mean, he's in his 50s. He's had my whole life he was in the game, you know? And that's hard to kind of shake off. Like someone, we think about people like that who've been doing it so long.
So you knew of him when you were in the game, though?
I did not. I knew of him later on because of the novela that came out, El Cartel de los Sapos. And
That's a fact. Bad things happen to everyone. And when you got a good heart, good things happen to you. Salutes. I'll take both of them, dog. Whichever one works best. Mine is, sun gotta shine on a dog's ass someday. Chupeta was top of the top.
Okay.
And of course, like just keeping up with the stuff, with the news. I remember when they first caught him.
If you have yet to hit the like button, please do.
In 2006, I think it was 2007. But yeah, I mean,
he was in Brazil or some shit, right?
From Brazil, and just imagine trying to just be a normal dude after his life.
And shout out Peter Hassaj. If you ever want to have a conversation about that, we could have a conversation on the live about a fight with the giant, with the corporation that try to step on your neck. You know what I'm saying? So let me know if you ever want to have the conversation. We'll do that. Salutes. What's a chupeta? Chupeta was a boss. Zorada said it was who they were, their upbringing. Their mama brought them up right, which helped them enormously get to where they got. I agree. Peter said that is true, and I swear I helped so many people out and still do, and people scream at me, why do you still do that? Because God sees it. Yeah, man. You took a W. Salutes. Hit the like button and subscribe. It's free and don't cost you a thing. Albert Flores said, allegedly news dropping. Joaquin, Ovidio, and Nini will plead guilty shortly for shorter sentences. The ones that would never cooperate. Negotiations have started.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Now go home and get your fucking shine boxes. All right? All right. Shout out to Albert Flores, always helping to move the content forward. I don't even got me here. Y'all didn't get to see the shit-eating grin across my face when I hit the
now go home and get your fucking shine box
button. But alleged news dropping. Joaquin, Ovidio, and Nini will plead guilty shortly for shorter sentences. Right? The ones that would never cooperate. Negotiations have started. Now let me ask you. Will they write corridos for these fallen chapitos who plead guilty? Right? And will they write corridos that keep the cooperation out of it and say, puro chapitos? Or are they going to be like, Rata Oso Jr.? Are you going to call them rats as commonly as you usually throwing the word rats around them? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Bro, when you see they stop having court dates, they cooperating. Yeah, I don't be giving a shit. I'm not paying attention. I like hearing the news, though. Salutes. All right? But I want to see what the corridos is going to look like. All right? Salutes. Freddie Lopez said, if you have a good mouthpiece in the game, you go a long way in the game, and it helped me for 30 years. True story. Salutes. Salutes. Shout out Peter Assange. He beat up the big monster, Mickey D's. In this corner, Nicky D's. In that corner, Mickey D's. Mickey D's takes the L to Nicky D's. All right? Not to be confused with McDowell's. It will take a bit for them to get their plea agreements and plead guilty. All right? But may the songwriters commence to writing their fantasies now. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so, y'all. All right? Mario Bustamante said, aquí yo quiero un trago. Shout out Rilo. He said, exactly. When somebody's court date starts getting pushed back, continuous cooperation. Aquí yo quiero un trago. Cool channel, Sha. You got, I stumbled across it going down the YouTube rabbit hole. Good stuff. Twins got a compelling story. They're at home enjoying their fam equals winning. Salutes, man. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And stay tuned. The Twins frequent this channel and this chat often, and we appreciate their input and their insight. And the insight and the help and all the people in our chat that help push the content forward. All right? We ain't got time for the bullshit over here. Puro pa adelante. Thank you, Shy. Nah, salutes to you, bro. I love watching the underdog win, boy. I love it. I love it. He said we loving it. I'm loving it. Shout out Rilo. Shy, you took the words from me. My intention is to never take nothing from you. Salutes. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? It be like that. Cheers. Let's get it. All right, we're going to get through this interview, though. We're not going to just abandon it. Appreciation to the chat. Salutes to you, Mario. Stay tuned, man. Make sure you check out our exclusive Flores Twins playlist. You know, make sure you give that a look. Every life is like a novela. Shit. Ain't that the truth? It just take a good writer like me to get her done. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be sending out my script for people to read, the first 60 pages of my script for people to read pretty soon. Maybe it'll end up in the Discord or something.
You know, and
Right?
I mean,
Brazil or some shit,
extra
right?
from Brazil, and you know, it's just imagine trying to just be a normal dude after his life. You know, and
Right?
I mean, he was like the new Pablo Escobar.
Pete, can you clarify who Chupeta was? You know, briefly in the chat. Le cagaron el nombre. He shit on his name.
You know, it's just imagine trying to just be a normal dude after his life. You know, and
Right?
I mean, he was like the new Pablo Escobar.
Oh, he's the Colombian guy. That's right.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like it's a struggle, and I pray that he's doing good wherever he's at, you know. And we meet all kinds of characters like that, and
He was due to get out. I don't know.
I
Did
don't
he
know.
get out?
I have no idea.
I know they didn't give him nothing for the Chapo case. They didn't give him no credit.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Somebody
sure
was
they
with
did.
But I know he was due to get out though anyway because he had 25, and shit, he had a lot of time in. Shit, if he was 06,
It's gonna be
07,
hard to hide him, but yeah.
Damn,
But
no bullshit.
I mean, you know how we meet. Like you're right. Like in there,
God
I
damn.
think like everyone's
10 million tons of soda. Son of a bitch. 10 million.
kind of the same, but I did have issues at first, like when I first went into prison, like because it wasn't my crowd. Like I wasn't used to being around certain kind of dudes, you know, especially so many like petty ass dudes, you know. And
Right.
it does create that weird, like, you know, it created problems. And
So was your first prison in Minnesota?
no, I started off, remember, in MCC and stuff like that, but prison, my first year being like somewhere in a place was there.
Right.
And even to this day, bro, but I try to just leave those places like out, you know, because
I think that sense of there's shit that they just can't talk about on here that don't don't do nothing good. Thing like Kingpin, thank you for your time. It's greatly appreciated. Bendiciones para todas las familias. Mis mejores deseos para todos. Dios con las muchachas. Boy, you hear my translation right there, Zoraida? Shit. Salute to Zoraida. Salute to my chat, man, for being positive, man. You know what I mean? Again, we take the negative shit. Just don't be like, oh, yeah, but you can't bust a grape. You got to relax. It's a lot of chances for that diabetes. Man, boy, that soda.
at the end, you don't want to, like, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
But, yeah, you meet so many different kind of people and a lot of good people, you know.
Yeah, I seen, you know who I was looking at the other day was, I was with him. We were with him different times was Vernie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know Bernie's on the street, though, so. I mean, he looks like he's doing good. I think he's still doing the music thing, so, you know.
Bro, that's probably one of the strongest dudes I ever met. Like,
yeah,
hands
man.
down.
Bernie is a monster.
He used to compete, right? Like these dudes be competing, you know what I'm saying? Like for who can do the most reps, the rack the most reps. Bro, I promise you, like, and it wasn't like a lot of crazy. It was heavy though. You know what I'm saying? The little machine weight.
Him not like being a consistent person in the gym, bro. He was hella strong,
Bro, he repped that shit. I'm no exaggeration, bro. 56 times. There was nobody that even came close, bro. And he looked like he probably could have got some more out of there. Yeah. You know,
or you think you see him doing fucking muscle ups and pull ups like nothing, you know? Fast as shit.
Yeah, that
shit's
crazy.
Yeah, he was definitely built different.
Dudes, bro. I used to be having to try to bang with him down low when we were playing ball because he was always on the opposite team, dog. Because couldn't nobody run with us, bro. When it was me, Tim, Poe, and Little Bebe, couldn't nobody beat us, bro. Couldn't nobody beat us. But I always had to go against Twin, where he used to just be moving me around, bro, like I was a feather. But I be trying to bang with him down there, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because I could jump with him.
And he got some
at that
legs.
time.
He ain't gonna get tired. He's gonna keep going.
What, bro? I used to try to get him. That's exactly what I used to think. Like, I'm gonna run this big dude around. Man, he just keep going,
man,
bro.
Vernie, he a lovely person, man, for real. I mean, he was my celly for a while, too. Yeah.
Yes, sir, Peter.
He a good people, man.
Yeah, he was cool, man. He was cool. They did him dirty when he was leaving, the day before he was leaving.
Yeah,
they got
tell
him,
me
bro.
about that.
They hit him with, like, macro juice, all types of shit, yo. Yo, they had him. We had him in the yard, bro. Everybody was giving it to him. Yo, he was a funny dude, though, because he used to have, like, booby traps on his door. Like, if you would be trying to, like, especially when he was in there trying to lay down. Like, if you open up his door, like, you have, like, a can swing down on you or something. Like, he was funny, bro. He was like that, dog. That shit used to be funny as hell. Degenerate gambler as well.
Yeah, man. I hope he's doing good. I'm pretty sure he's doing good, man.
Yeah, that's what I seen. Let me ask you this, bro. Do you think it was easy to translate the skills that you acquired in the dope game to obviously like trying to own your own business these days?
It wasn't. The mindset was there. The only difference, the money wasn't there like it was before, but I always had businesses. I always ventured into doing different things, but when it's hard, like, it's weird that you come home and people don't respect you, like, as a person you are, you know, especially, you know, they respected that person you were in the game, but things change and it's weird, like, I remember thinking, like, when I was on the street, I could get people to risk their life in a second. I could tell people, man, you want to get in the game? I got work, blah, blah, blah. And a regular person would say yes. You know, and I come out and trying to do things, and I'm trying to get people involved in to the legit stuff, and try to say, look, this is what we could do, and ain't nobody want to sign up. It's like, and I'm trying to like convince people, and I don't have that. I didn't have the same. My word didn't carry weight, I guess, anymore.
Right. You can't. You're right. You can't lean
Yeah,
on
and
that.
that was kind of disappointing. Like, damn, and I used to be like, one thing I know is money. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of difficult part of this, because I didn't surround myself with people. I wasn't like so vulnerable to like regular stuff. Before, I wanted something, I sent someone to do it and take care of it, and move on. So
Right.
get into the legit world, and you're trying to pursue certain things, and people shut the door on you multiple times, or they they don't value your thoughts or your opinions or your ideas, and they measure you up like like you ain't shit, like and
Yeah.
and part of me could get my ego, be like, man, like, who you're talking to,
Right. See, and that's crazy. I think.
Shout out to the chat. Salute to that. She said, think like Kingpin, I don't think you realize you guys can make a mad novela out of your guys' lives. Now you guys have to hit up Las Estrellas in Azteca, Mexico. Think like Kingpin said, no Netflix? Coño. Zorada said, Shy, you're killing that translation. Don't let these trolls make you think otherwise. F them. I'm going to cuss their ass out in Spanish. But listen here, puto. What happened to Oso Jr. at bedtime? He went to bed. They want that fast money. Salutes, Peter. Kamir Lumpkin said, hey, caught alive. I've been in mommy mode since having my first kid. What's up, Jay? Today, P is in the chat, and we're listening to an interview from P, and it's just me, baby. But salutes to you. Salutes to that baby. Blessings to your family. Congratulations, and well done. Upper Echelon clarified that there was 3 sets of twins in a recent live. Peter Saj said it takes years in legit business to start getting fast money, man. Takes decades to write your name in stone, bro. Freddie Lopez, being in the game, I learned to keep your circle small and be 100% loyal, because your word is $1 million ticket. Salutes. So that's the thing like Kingpin, my bad. Yes, definitely Netflix and Amazon, you name it. Go with whoever pays more. Pay me my money. I told everybody on Facebook how stupid that shit was. They give me my money shit. They're like, Chai, what? I gotta take my video down. No, that's what stupid shit is for. To make videos out of. Have fun. Juan Quintero says, Chai put also on hibernation, because you guys gotta. They build their ego and they say something stupid. They laugh at it. Then they repeat it 10 times. It's like, what are we doing? At this point, what are we doing? Hot Dollar said, thing like Kingpin, you would have still been proud for snitching if the government would have taken the deal back for hiding money. That would have been a bad day in the Flores household if they took it back. All right? Shout out for Hot Dollar. Hot Dollar must have subscribed and waited that 20 minutes to be able to say that. All right? And now, if Think Like a Kingpin would like to respond, he can. But, he don't have to. He's not obligated to. Salutes. All right, let me check the messages. Checking the messages. The mensajes. All right, it's been a good live so far tonight. Hundreds up in the chat for y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Shout out to Berto Vallejo of Normalized Crime. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. Salutes. Peter Hassad said, I met him, Jonathan. That's why I wanted to make sure. I believe he was talking about the Varneys. Salutes. Think like Kingpin said, Freddie, you right, brother. All right, salutes. Here we go.
About that, like, and you're looking at it from a top-down viewpoint, because you've seen it before, to where those kind of people would be begging you for your business, and now it's like,
but it's humbling.
You want to try to take advantage of it the other way around.
No, it's humbling though.
Shout out Thinking Like a Kingpin. The question was from Hot Dollar. I lost it. I know he didn't delete it. Hot Dollar. Here we go. Think Like a Kingpin. You would have still been proud for snitching if the government would have taken the deal back for hiding money. I will say this, Hot Dollar. I'll say this. I don't know how much pride there is in the shit, but I know they did take hits from the government. They didn't get it. It wasn't like a smooth criminal getaway that they got. Nah, the government stuck it to them in a whole lot of different ways. But again, Think Like Kingpin can answer for himself. Think Like Kingpin, you would have still been proud of snitching if the government would have taken back the deal for hiding money. Sheldon said, all right, nice show. I'm checking out. I just got back from 1 month of vacation. My family and I be to hitting that king size bed. Night. Bless your channel and all you brothers. Salutes. Good nights, bro. I appreciate you. Freddie Lopez said, think yes, sir. True story, brother. Salutes. All right, boom. I'll leave Hot Dollar's comment up here so that we can. I lost it again. Boom. So I can move on. Here we go.
But it's another challenge and obstacle you have to overcome. And I came in, for the stuff I started doing, I started at the bottom. I started doing it just like a regular person and just seeing like if what I would do better, Like, I don't like this about this. I don't like the way they do this in this company. And I think there's an area for this, and like one thing that benefited me was the risk-taking part. Like, it was, like, I'm just going to jump in because, I that's what I did before, I took chances,
Right. You could stomach
I would
the
try
loss.
as much as I can to minimize the risk, but you have to have...
But not, you can't be scared of it.
It's frightening sometimes, to venture into something new and not...
Yeah, if you don't do it, you're never going to do it.
I didn't have that. Like, I felt like, this is what I'm going to do. I know this will work. If I do this, I just need some help. And, of course, that is a plus. 2, I learned early on that you can't do everything alone, man. That Tony Montana shit don't work. Like I've said it before, build bridges. Right. It's about who you know, about people like you. It's not always about you. Go out and help somebody. It's like, make those contacts, those relationships. And it didn't always take money. Like, for me, it was like I started at the bottom and I worked my ass off. And I let people see that,
Did you learn that from somebody? Or did you kind of develop that? Like, were there guys like that you eventually started doing business with? Obviously, like Chapo's people and Beltran.
Well, remember, like, people get the wrong idea that, like, I came into a job interview and they handed me a bag. No, we were invited because I was already making money. I was already at that level. You know what I mean? So that came on something I learned early on, and I do say that McDonald's did have a big, part of it because,
Now, McDonald's had a big part of that, but fuck what they talking about when it comes to Nicky D's, all right? Salutes. All right? Shout out Think Like a Kingpin, all right? Here's your answer, Mr. Hot Dollar. Hot Dollar's question was, Think Like a Kingpin. You would have still been proud, and I said I don't think that's the word for it, but you said, Think Like a Kingpin, you would have still been proud for snitching if the government would have taken the deal back for hiding money. And Think Like a Kingpin's answer is, I've never been proud of cooperating. But I will never regret the sacrifices I did to give my family a better life. They could lock me up forever. My family gonna be good. And there you have it. Salutes Peter Assange. He said, real talk, Pete. Ha ha ha, McDonald's. Right? It's not your cheese, but it's not Nicky D's, so back the fuck up. Big corporate monster, salutes.
You learn every part of the business, and you learn what to do right, and you learn from your level. You know what I mean? So that came on something I learned early on, and I do say that McDonald's did have a big, part of it because, you learn every part of the business, and you learn what to do right, and you learn from your mistakes, and you learn what was being done wrong. And I think that understanding all those aspects is super helpful. And like I said it before, you never send someone to do something that you wouldn't do yourself, So, before you tell someone go slave on the grill, get on the grill and do it yourself and see how it feels, see what you could do better, And those things help me a lot, Always putting myself in their shoes, being empathetic, about my drivers, about my workers, like, not just send them off, I wouldn't want nobody to send me off. But that helped when it came to like starting my new business. And then, you get...
Understand.
Hot Dollar, you being greedy. You asking many questions, you being greedy. He doesn't have to answer them. He can if he wants to. That's on him. Or you can wait for a time that he's on the show, or you can just keep throwing, shit at the wall. But salutes.
And the relationship element of it.
It's still hard, though. It wasn't easy at all. Like I said, you'd be surprised how you could get a bunch of criminals together and they could follow directions like perfectly, And I guess because there's a lot to lose, there's a lot of risk involved. You come into the legit world, man, people are babies, man. They take shortcuts. They don't want to listen. They want everything for free, And what's the risk? What are they losing? Their job? They don't give a shit, That's something kind of like, that wasn't used to, just coming into the legit world, And I think that's why I would stand out, because I try to do everything like as perfect as I could. I was gonna put my name on it. I was gonna work my ass off. I was gonna do it right.
Shout out Hot Dollar. Shy, he doesn't have to answer anything. I'm just letting you know that. You'd be surprised how many people in the chat don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? That they don't have to answer anything. Salutes. Hot Dollar, you don't understand strategy. We're playing the long game. Salutes. I even put your question on stream. I'm just letting you know. And now you know. I don't have to, my attention goes to the people that are here on a regular basis. People that just pop up because the twins are around and they take opportunity. I don't have to, but I have. So I've been good to you. So be nice. Play nice, or, you end up in the goddamn...
Put him in a fucking bedroom.
And it's funny because
Shout out Peter Assange. Shout out Peter Assange for the $1.99 super chat. Don't answer that, Pete. I'm paying for that. Salutes. Yo, Wally.
Let me. Yeah, I want you to give me a comparison, right? Well, out of some of those guys that you work with, some of those heavy hitters that you work with, which one of them dudes would you immediately be like, that dude can run a, Fortune 500 company tomorrow?
All of them. They all were doing
all of them.
Think about it. They had influence across the world. They had thousands of people working for them. Every one of them was running their own Fortune 500 company, and all with think crazy, about right? it. All with that kind of control. I don't even know. People could imagine how much, what it takes to run a business like that. And I always say that the cartels invented remote working, and to have that kind of control over everything.
Hold on. They like Keeper said, you're right. Buy my book or watch my podcast or something. I feel attacked with that question. You sound like a fed. God damn. Freddie Lopez said, I'm a fan of snitching. But to tell you the truth, Chapo snitch on Labor Brothers to get his son out. They're all snitching. There's too much picking and choosing. Snitching is a part of that game, right? It's a tactic. It's a tool in the toolbox. It's a wrench, like the weapon that my wrenchmen and my henchmen swing around. It's just a fucking tool, bro.
Goes on, what it takes to run a business like that. And I always say that the cartels invented remote working, and to have that kind of control over everything that goes on in different cities and different countries. You know, it takes a lot of, you know, intelligence. You know, and it takes a lot of good people to help you. You know.
Do they have like I'm curious like about like structure wise, do they have like rules? Like separate rules for each cartel, or is it like a basic blanket rule for like cartel
No,
life
of
in
course they
general?
got rules. I mean, they
How does
got
it
rules
work?
in every aspect, but like in the bigger part of the federation, I could tell you there's a really big one, like no extortions, no kidnappings, you know, no stealing. You know, it's like, you know, don't hurt the innocent people. Like you want to make some money, you can make some money. You want to, you know, you want a job, you could get a job, you know?
Right.
So those things were like important at one time, you know? Because the business,
Wars typically change that.
yes, different crews, a new generation of people come and they're a little more ruthless, you know, and but for the most part, the federation had like a way of making money. Like this is what we do. This is our business. We don't have to involve innocent people, you know. But obviously, that changes, you know.
I got another question, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I remember we talked about it before, briefly, but feeling wise, right? I'm wondering because you've been through some crazy shit, like some pretty. I think about like some pretty high level, scary kind of shit. All right.
P been through some shit,
this,
man. P been through some shit. Call the man whatever the fuck you want. He survived some shit. Survived some shit, bro. And I know what it is to survive some shit. I survived some shit. No matter what the fuck you motherfuckers call me, I've survived some shit. So, you know, I get it, man. They all break at the end. The only one who didn't ever break was Pablo because he got. And even he was a chomo. So imagine. Freddie Lopez said, oops, I'm not a fan of snitching. Damn phone. It was a typo, all right? It's funny how no one gives respect for what we built on the streets. Everyone critiques the end part without understanding the whole story. And that just be my point. You know? Jay and Peter Flores can defend themselves. They don't need me to defend them. But I will defend the picking and choosing, and I will defend the truth. And if the truth is you just come over here to bitch about them while you got a poster of these other guys that done the same thing or worse, got 1 million innocent bodies and kidnappings and chomo activities and all of this shit. If you ain't holding them accountable the same way, I'm looking at you like a fuck. Like you's a fuck higger. You's a punk. I'm looking at you like that. You picking and choosing? I ain't with that shit. Hit the like button, subscribe. Great quality content, and it's free. The twins aren't doing this to help stop the rug flow or to help the community. They're doing it just to help themselves out. That's it. Well, you got to scale that by how much it's helped them. Do you know how much it's helped them out? You have to prove that before that shit, whatever you say there is true. It ain't me defending them. It's me going against you people that say outrageous shit. The twins aren't doing this to help. Like, what do you know about what's inside a person's head? I don't be understanding you people. It's just what's in you. You got to hate on something. You need to be mad at something. Pablo turned in Carlos and a bunch of others. Southside Mexican. Yeah, think like Kingpin. You think I need help? You a fool. Peter Asad said, Pete, the story is what's amazing. The end is boring. The end is boring. And it's going to be the same end that everybody else's story ends like. 2 ways. They talked or they perished. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. If it wasn't for... You must have not been here for the beginning of this live. Because I think that's wrong, what you're saying. If it wasn't for the twins' father, they would have been nobodies. They had to survive, right? Despite their father. Their father was a hindrance on a lot of their shit. Right? Their father's on the run. They got to make shit happen. Their father's locked up. Their mama got to make shit happen. Their father comes out. He grooms them into the game. I really do think you people got it fucked up, but there's no convincing you. So me having an intellectual conversation with you where evidence... I had a conversation with Flu Dog today. And he said a whole bunch of wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, too bad that, you know... That's not how you get the answers. He's like, I don't want the answers. It's just my opinion. And that's our problem. You guys pick what happened, and as far as y'all concerned, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I think their father was a hindrance to them, dog. Real talk. For whatever his connections were worth, he sounded like a hindrance to them. But that's just my opinion, me. Gordo Gordito said, hot dollar, you sound like you on some hating. He has another, I didn't read what he said there. He deleted it, but I get it. I'm not here to ban people just because of their opinion, but but I am here to challenge everything, and I think it be bullshit sometimes, man. People just looking for shit to talk about. Oh, their father was a fucking hindrance, bro. No way, answer my question. Do you really think I need help? He's not gonna answer your question. Look, he erased all kind of messages. That goddamn parrot. Oh, yeah, that parrot. You gotta smoke the parrot. I hope that parrot got smoked. Mr. Dollar must know him. Yeah, I don't know exactly. If it wasn't for my father, hot dollar, I wouldn't have what I have. And that's you, Peter Hassad. Salutes. But me, I think their father was a hindrance on them. Even though he was connected or whatever, he was a hindrance on them. Even Scarface got. Everybody can get got. Juan Quintero said, an older man says a normal life is not boring, it's peaceful. Yeah, you want to watch the shit grow. Shy, they would have never met the connection without their father. You're uninformed, Hot Dollar. Hot Dollar, you need to get informed. We gotta put him in a fucking bedroom. Oh shit, no, I didn't mean that was an accident. Don't put Hot Dollar in the bathroom just because he's misinformed and hasn't listened to none of the other channels or none of the other playlists on this fucking channel. You know, but the things you're saying have been refuted. You know, they're connected and come to their fucking father. You know? If the twins would have said Chapo name, it didn't matter. The president knew Chapo name. Everybody knew Chapo name. But Hot Dollar, you just another dude that comes in here uninformed. You got to go pay attention. Chucky Chigon said, what's good, Shy? Salute. Salutes to you. Southside Mexican said, think like a kingpin. That's facts, bro. I always thought that. That's why I follow all your guys' story. You guys killed the gang. Salutes. And again, I'm not defending them. They don't, first of all, feel like they need to be defended from nothing. And if they do need to be defended from something, they can defend themselves. But I'm saying that you people that come in here act like y'all know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't be knowing what the fuck you talking about, man. Y'all be asking questions and saying shit we heard the answer to a year and a half ago. You know? It was a false alarm, Jonathan. Let him live. I'm letting him live for now. Salutes to Hot Dollar. But Hot Dollar, you got to get familiar, dog. Listen to the story. Everybody be so consumed with rat, that nobody knows the fucking story. All right, this story's so in depth that I forget shit. My people got to remind me. You know what I mean? All right? Pay attention. Handle y'all business. Do what Peter Hassaz does. Watch the fucking register. All right? Pay attention. Shout out Your Vid Sucks. What up, Shy? Hope all is well. Salutes to you, Your Vid Sucks. I appreciate you for being here. I already know you hit the like button. And if you haven't, my reminder right now is going to get you there. Salutes. All right? But they done piss me off right now. Because people just be saying whatever the fuck. And I get it. That's how the twins got to paying attention to what I was doing. I was talking my shit about what they was doing. I don't agree with everything. Right? But we could be human beings about this shit. But y'all just be lying. Come over here, think y'all, it's their father and their daddy. Shut the fuck up. Go pay attention. Go listen to the exclusive. See what the story is. Listen to these reactions we do when they do interviews with somebody else. Here we go.
This level.
Salute you.
What do you think was scarier? The
motherfuckers got me hyped up, man, but we're not going to put them in the bathroom yet. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I forget that. This is Sparta. It's Sparta. I be wanting to kick a motherfucker down the hole. Albert Flores said, gotta salute Hot Dollar's persistence on making so many channels, several lives of waiting to try to get this comment read by the twins. Boy, Fanning, salutes. Think like Keeper said, man, I remember being on the streets 24/7 without my father. All respects to my dad, but I took care of him. And there it is, everybody. Shut the fuck up. You all look for excuses and shit. Like, there's no excuses. Them boys can defend themselves. Talk about the ratting. You mad about the ratting? That's fine. Say it once and move on, man. Y'all giving up your life for some shit you can't change. Peter Hassad said he's talking about how people's lives would have been. That says you thinking about fairy tales. Facts. I just said that shit. And then your comment popped up. Salutes. All right, hit the like button if you have yet to do so. We late on a Sunday night. I'm screaming. It is what it is. All right, salutes. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man?
Jesus Christ Almighty!
Briefly, but feeling wise, right? I'm wondering because you've been through some crazy shit, like some pretty. I think about like some pretty high level, scary kind of shit. All right, on this level, what do you think was scarier? Like going through just the kidnapping shit, or being in between a war between Chapo and Beltran. I mean, because I imagine you had to be playing both sides ultimately in order to stay alive, right?
I mean, the unknown. Well, it's a different fear. Like once you're in the situation where you think you're gonna die, it's different than when thinking what might come. You know, there's a possibility that this might happen. It's different when you're in the actual. When you're in that situation, like you're tied up, blindfolded, and you know.
Right.
Yeah, wondering like, damn, they probably already have my grave somewhere. Who knows where? You know, they got a hole somewhere in the ground for me. And then, thinking of what might happen and thinking of the decisions you're making. What if you make the wrong one? You know. So it was I think was more frightening was turning myself in.
All right, shout out Freddie Lopez. I hate when people act like my brothers think the same thing about me. Just because they started the game before me, now I made my own name in the game and chilling. Hot Dollar said, "You right, Shy. The plug was just gonna fall in their lap if their father wasn't in the game." Listen, man, give their big brother the fucking props, bro. If y'all are gonna swing off somebody's nuts to hate on them, give their big brother the props, bro. Real talk. That's my answer to that. I appreciate you. Salutes. All right? It's your pleasure to be on my channel and talk to the horse's mouth and still not believe what they got to say to you. Think like Kingpin said, Hot Dollar, you ever left the USA? Huh? Chicago, Milwaukee, Columbus, New York, D.C., Kentucky, where were you? Shout out Daniel Chi-Town. What's up, Coleja? I don't even know what that means, bro, so hopefully I didn't just place a spell on myself. Daniel Chi-Town said all the best from Polonia. Where's Polonia, bro? Let me know, man. We gotta... will you ever get together with Sammy the Bull? If they do, hopefully it's on my channel, Daniel. Passport Gang, salutes. Yeah, I'm part of that gang, Peter. Hassad. Haddad, you clearly haven't listened to their Phil story. He don't know what he's talking about. He's just talking out of his head. I just told you how they got the plug, Hot Dollar. Now you're going to say, but how did the big brother get the plug? You're just going to swing from sack to sack through the sack jungle, bro. It's like, you got to come to a point. Go listen to our exclusives, bro. Please. Passport Bros. What's wrong with someone's father helping out the kids? That's another thing. Even if he did. But he didn't. I know the twins got on when their brother went to jail. So then you still saying the wrong shit because you just want to say wrong shit. If you know. They said there's two different type of inmates. Those who tell, those who wish they told. Well, on this podcast that we just covered, they said there's three. It's those that told, those that wish they told, and what was the third one? I forgot it. Kolega means friend in Polish. Salutes. I should have known that. You know what I'm saying? I got Polish friends, people that I love. Chicago's a big Polish city. A lot of Polish people in Chicago. Salutes. But, you Daniel Chi-Town, you already know that. If I gave my brother Mando the credit, they would shut it. They were what? They were shutting him? They would shit on him. Yeah. They would shit on him. They'll flip it around. I'm telling you, the goalpost is going to change 1,000 times. And here's what the commenter that comes in here and says these things isn't the one that sees the goalpost change 1,000 times. It's the usual suspects that see the goalposts change 1,000 times. The JPs, the Zoraidas, the Rilos, the Young Jizzles, the Osos. They're the ones that see the goalposts get moved from people that leave and never come back. Cause why? Cause they couldn't keep up with the conversation. Why? Cause they always had the wrong answer and didn't listen enough. You don't got the information. We got the information. Shy, the last one is yeah. So it's there's people that told, people that wish they told, and the ones that wish they had someone to tell on. Shy, the twins' brother got on because of the father, and that's why I'm saying if it wasn't for their father, they would have never met a plug in the first place. You can't put that on a bunch of 7-year-olds, whatever the fuck the brother was doing, teenagers or whatever. How do we know the father got him the plug? Father been locked up for 7 years. Father been a hindrance. Father took them from two walkers to having to share one. And that's what I'm saying. You guys are looking for any thread, and it's just weird. Yeah, I get it. You don't see how weird you look. Peter said, "Don't forget about me, Shy." Well, what? What happened? I've been highlighting everybody's shit. What happened? What happened? Don't forget you, Peter Hassaj. Salutes. Okay, Pro. What's wrong with us just building that shit from nothing? What's the issue? We started at negative because of my brother and dad. Bow. There you go. That's a clean answer. We started at a negative because of my brother and dad. I don't see how y'all, it's the same conversation I have with other people that think that eventually Sonya Massey didn't throw that pot. She threw that pot, but she had every fucking right to. Y'all just be seeing, we be looking at the same video, seeing something else. I don't get it. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. We started at a negative because of my brother and dad. Salutes.
And knowing that I was walking into a life sentence, you know? And
back 15
so it was, I think, was more frightening was turning myself in. And knowing that I was walking into a life sentence, you know?
And I'm not caping, none of that shit. I'm not triggered. I'm just having conversation with people. Because I hear, there's one me, there's a bunch of you. I hear the same shit all the time, and it doesn't convince me.
And I was walking in with a life sentence, and I had to somehow get it off of me. And not knowing, like, where my family would be, or, you know, or if I made the right decision, or if my decisions were going to turn out good, you know?
Right, because ain't nothing guaranteed. You just kind of winging it.
Yeah, like I said, no, I didn't have no direction. I didn't have a book on, you know, this is the way it goes, you know? Luckily, like, if people want to get out that life, I mean, I always wonder, like, if you need help, man, I wish I could reach out to people and be like, look, if you need some guidance, you need to have some questions, some real questions about, you know, those situations. I wish I could, like, offer my help and be like, you know, because it's hard, you know. I thank God that, you know, He kept me strong during that. And if you left the street and all you had was your boys, it might have not been hard to leave, you know? But, bro, right. I left everything a man could dream of, you know, behind. I walked away from, you know, a life that you only dream of, you know. And I had a beautiful wife. I had my, you know, my family. I was able to take care of everyone I cared about, and I was risking it. I was gambling. Like, let's see how this turns out, you know? I didn't know my wife was going to be there, you know, a year, a month, you know, 5 years, or my family, my mom, you know, what was going to happen with my, you know, my immediate family. Like, it was a risk. It was a chance you take. It was scary, definitely scary.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, people probably wonder that too. Like, do you think about that a lot? Like, damn, like every day, like, shit, like my wife's at risk. You know what I'm saying? My mom's at risk. Everybody's at risk. You know what I mean? Because day in, day out, like, one relationship go bad, like, that could change things for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's always just so many variables to consider, and everything has to be almost perfect for you to stay out there like that. And that's a humongous gamble, to think that everything's always going to be good, and how things could just fall apart so easily. And
right,
you know, and then it's your own life. Like, I had never been to prison, so that unknown was scary too, you know. I was always taught to avoid it, you know, no matter what. So to turn myself in, I mean, that was like, you know, it was. I can't even describe it in words.
It's going against everything you ever,
because there was so much, you know, so much in that one decision, you know, like so many emotions, so many feelings, so many consequences, so much. I mean, so many people around me, and you know, it's just so much that was going on. And at that time, right before that, like remember, I got two factions of the cartel at war. I'm playing both of them, and I got the feds in the middle too.
Jesus.
I'm trying to like satisfy everyone at the same time. It was hard, you know, and keep my family safe. I mean, that was it. I can't even tell you, you know, the amount of stress and what them days were like for me and my family.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro. I can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine, but I can imagine just in the sense like, damn, like
What?
just the sound of it.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you got guns pointing at you every way. Like the cartel's like, I'm gonna torture you. You keep doing that with them, I'm gonna kill you. But everyone, and then the feds telling you, you
Is
fuck
that
up,
not a
you
rock
like-
and a hard place? Hey man, you're the golden goose. You keep messing with them, you're dead. Everybody you love is dead. And then the other side telling you, hey man, you're the golden goose. You keep messing with them, you're dead. Everybody's dead. Shout out Peter Side said my father borrowed 150K from a friend to start my business, and I took to the next levels. Right. Everybody ain't blessed to have that. You got that. It was your business to make sure you didn't fuck that up. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can do that without fucking it up. You know? Everybody starts from somewhere. It really don't matter. Jared Ryder said, familia over PDF files. Hadala said, look, Shai, I have friends. Everybody got friends. That their whole family's in the business, and that's why we're able to be in the business. But if you say they did it on their own, okay. I'm saying that if somebody inspires something, or if somebody gives me the number to something that allows me to take that card that they gave me and I blow up, don't give them credit for the rest of my motherfucking life. Especially if throughout my life they've been a hindrance. Do you not understand that? Are you slow? Because that's what I'm saying. Do you not hear me? Hadala, how someone starts don't matter. All right, salutes. Southside Mexican said, think like a kingpin. What's the word on the movie series? News to come on that. Where they take it to matters. Gordito said, everyone in life gets a door opened by someone else. From Elon Musk to President Trump. Think like a kingpin said, dollar. Again, I have no issues giving credit, but what's wrong with me? See, that's the thing. Y'all ask questions, but you already have the answer you want in your head. So when the real answer comes, you're like, nah, that's bullshit. That ain't what I thought of. It's like, come on, y'all. Stop retracting shit, too. Or get your thumbs right. Salutes. Dollar, again, I have no issues of giving credit, but what's wrong with me telling you did it? We did it on our own. You're struggling out there, brother. You mad because you ain't got nothing out your own hustle? Danny Mendoza said, buenas noches. Aquí checking in. Saludos, mi Shai. Salutes to you, Danny. I appreciate you. Freddie Lopez said, if that was true about the dad, why didn't the dad make $100 million or more? Please say it again louder for the hot dollar in the back, Freddie Lopez. If someone helps you, hot dollar, be grateful. Period. Yar said, damn, just tap in here, Jay here, or reaction video. It's a reaction to Peter talking to Alberto Vallejo from Normalized Crime. So it's Peter talking to him on the podcast. We're reacting to that, and Peter's in the chat. Hot Dollar said, think like a kingpin. How did you start from nothing with a plug? Everybody starts without a plug and then gets one. So is whoever hooked them up with the plug responsible for the rest of their life, Hot Dollar? That's what I'm asking. Because y'all be outrageous with this goalpost shit. Starting for nothing is finding your own plug, not the plug finding you because of who your family is. Jesus Christ. Even if getting the plug was easy to obtain, running that empire was not. It's just weird to me. People are fucking weird to me. They found me because of who I was, what you don't get. I was just going to say that. They came to him, yeah, because of his family, what his family was. He was the young Thundercat that was supposed to fuck that all up. I'm thinking, Hot Dollar, you might have fucked that all up early. Hot Dollar, if anything here pops, plug them, got them kidnapped. Get over it already. That's true, too. I feel like their father was a hindrance. That's what I'm saying. Are you guys saying the twins' father was broke? Yes. That enough answer for you, Hot Dollar? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he was broke. Now, that's subjective, though. In comparison to what, Hot Dollar? Shout out Albert Flores. You want me to put one on, Hot Dollar? What you talking about, Peter? Besides, I don't think what homie doesn't understand is that Base was there, but the twins took it to another level. Bruh, base or no base, the base was how about this? The foundation on the building was cracked. If their father was the foundation, it was a cracked foundation. Pete and Jay didn't choose that life. It was chosen for them. Salute. Yar said, Pete, you got to hop on and talk. We all interested in hearing you. Nah, he don't got time, Yar. Today to hop on. No, sir. Peter Hazard said, I'm in Detroit. I can hook you up with all kinds of people or you can work for me. I'm always hiring. Hot Dollar. Salutes. Right? But Hot Dollar, that's my answer. My answer is yes. I say their father was busted. Man, Jordan shouldn't get no credit either then. They drafted him. No, the guys who drafted him get all the credit, think like a kingpin. That's what we're talking about. I'm going to hit play on this. We got 10 minutes left on
Life
this.
in prison. You're like,
hit the like button if you have yet to do so.
Like,
don't be a piece of shit.
I don't know, man. That I can't thank God enough for like allowing me to be here today, man. Like it's just crazy, you know. And not only that, but 12 years after that, you know, of prison and of mental anguish and the suffering that one goes through from being incarcerated. You know, their family, their loved one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a blessing, bro. It's a blessing to walk past that, you know, to walk through it. Like that's the hardest part, man. Is that grind, you know. At the end of the day, you know, it's crazy. Like you got your brother, you got your wife, but you still walking through it by yourself, you know, in some aspects, bro. And that shit's not easy.
Not at all, man. You know how it is for us people who cooperated. It's not like you had a guarantee an easy way home. That was hard too, you know.
Well, look, bro. I know you probably got a lot to handle, man. You know, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really
thank
do.
you for having me, man. It's always nice to talk to you and to hear you're doing good. And I hope, you know, I wish all the success for you and whatever comes along with this, you know?
I see
For
what
sure,
you did there.
Sure, bro. I appreciate it. I'm sure, obviously, we'll talk soon, you know?
Yeah, so as you can see, you know, I think it was a really, really enlightening kind of episode as far as like just learning. You know, like I mentioned in the first part, I think, you know, interviewing P during this time was really out of just us having a conversation, you know, because he has so many things going on with you know, with different deals. He's working with different networks and different people. And so he's kind of limited in what he can say at certain times. So, I mean, he was really just being a friend and coming on and just talking about, you know, his experiences. And so I think, you know, maybe obviously in the future we'll have a lot more access to some of those little niche questions. You know, maybe the viewers can throw some questions in there that they want asked. And but I think even with this episode, man, just being able to pick somebody's brain who literally touched, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, you know, and being able to get, you know, the perception and the things that made them successful going, you know, not just in the past, but now in the present. You know, I think that was like a big eye-opening thing for me.
Yeah, and some of the things like at one point in time in the interview, you did ask him the question of these drug cartel members and stuff that he worked with on a regular basis. You know, how many of them does he think could run like a Fortune 500 company? And I found it really interesting that his answer was just all of them, which is completely true. But I think that's something that we, as people, never think about. We think of we kind of demonize these people and think of them as monsters, but really that what they're doing is running a business. It just happens to be a really violent business. And I thought, being that I'm in that world a little bit, I thought that was a very interesting little spin to take it and to be able to hear it from the side of somebody that's seen all of that. Just to see, you know.
Yeah, for me, it's obviously for me, it's always, you know, it's a really humbling experience to talk because, you know, like my mind can't even see the kind of dollar signs that he was throwing around every day. And, you know, so
shout out Southside Mexican. Salutes to you. Have a good night. Appreciate you. Y'all said, Shy, can you link the video you reacted to? I was going to do that anyway. Link to, I dropped the link for Alberto Vallejo's podcast, Normalized Crime. But y'all, you trying to make a usual suspects, you better catch that replay too, bro. Hit that like button, all that good shit. All right, you over here asking for a lot. Salutes.
Obviously, that's out of my league, probably yours too. But
Yeah, very much so,
but you know, I think just being able to get into his head a little bit and get a little bit of an idea of really how not just his mind worked, but like we just said, you know, a lot of really, really successful drug dealers, you know what I mean? Like being able to identify all the little nuances and pay attention to all the things that are really, really important, you know? So I was never that guy. And, you know, I think it's crazy, man, to think that somebody can go from the McDonald's parking lot, right? like that, like he was talking about, to, you know, working with El Chapo and Mayo, man.
Yeah.
You know, nah.
Basically swimming in money, you know. So, but
Yep.
with definite
in fucking drama, trauma, and bullshit.
Downsides to it too as well. So
yeah, the consequences.
And the other thing I thought was really interesting.
So that Hot Dollar said, think like Kingpin Jordan did the work until LeBron's son. LeBron's son owes his father just like you. Danny Mendoza said, we don't understand that our family does the time with us. Think like Kingpin said, you have hater in your blood. I bet your father was a hater too. It'd be like that. Gordo Gordito, if LeBron's son becomes the top scorer in the NBA, is it LeBron's glory? Is it? Southside Mexican, peace out. Salutes to you. J.R. Ryder said the Twins were able to politic in Mexico and in the streets of Chi. Takes a very certain someone, or in this case, someones, to do that. And not to be unalived all at the same time. I agree. Salutes. Salutes, Jonathan. You got something to handle? Handle your business, sir. We appreciate you. Have a good night. We're going to be clocking out. The dope game ain't for everybody. Neither is the chat game or conversation. J.R. Ryder, what politics did they do in Mexico? Hot Dollar, you got to be 12 years old and don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You got to go listen to the rest of the story. What politics did they do in Mexico? How you go from being the one snatched to being the golden goose, Hot Dollar? You just talking outrageous. You here for attention and you ain't paid for none of it. At least I hope you hit the like button though. I'd appreciate that. That'd be nice.
With this episode,
and again, I don't have to defend nobody, but I just be hating commenters that just be like saying whatever for whatever reason. If you got a good argument, I'll honor the argument. We put it out there for people to talk about. But this other shit, y'all be blowing me with this shit. So that's Jonathan, buenas noches, salutes. They didn't do no politicking in Mexico, bro. They just went from the parrot to the fucking
comparisons
pulpit.
Between,
fuck are we talking
you know,
about?
like the special forces type people in the mindset, and then the.
All right, I think that's about it for that. Salutes. All right, shout out Berto, Normalized Crime. I dropped his Apple Podcast link on the inside. Yeah, Hot Dollar hasn't heard them story. And I hate people that come in here and they only know the rap shit and they don't know nothing about the story and they want to talk. And then in a minute he'll say, I do know the story. I was in the story of my friend's family and blah, blah, blah. It's like, man, I'd be wasting my breath on you motherfuckers. Shout out Berto Vallejo, Normalized Crime. Make sure y'all check him out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I wish he put more attention to his YouTube channel. That would be dope. The Twins really got a one-on-one story. Not so many Americans could do what they did at 20 and 23 years old. Absolutely. Salutes Gordo Gordito. I gotta get informed, bro. I'd appreciate that. That'd be nice. All right, it's 12:33 a.m. We're gonna go out the same way we came in. Again, salutes to Pedro Flores for blessing the chat with his insight and information. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. Again, this is a man that has survived all kind of shit. He could definitely defend himself. You people just got to be better trolls. And if you're gonna be the other side of the story, you just got to be better at it. You guys ain't really good at it. Not good at it. I'm gonna go to the top of what I can get to here. Salutes to my donators today. Fernando out the gate. I appreciate you, sir. Salutes to JP for his $5 power chat. Salutes to Peter Hassaj and congratulations. Salutes to Peter Hassaj for his $49.99, his $4.99, and his $1.99 super chats. Congratulations again for fighting the dragon and winning. All right, you fought the burger cartel and you won. So salutes to you. Salutes to Pete Never for his dono. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate my usual suspects, my wrenches. Salutes Rilo, all of y'all guys. Salutes Zoraida, J.R. Ryder, Dan Foghat, Think Like a Kingpin, Rilo, Peter Saj, Oso Jr., Mario Bustamante, So Much Soul, Sheldon E. Salutes to you, Young Jizzle. I appreciate you. Zoraida, I appreciate you. JP. Who else? Juan Quintero, I appreciate you. Salutes to you for coming through. Shout out Pinche Vampiro. Salutes to you. I appreciate you. Fernando, thank you, sir. If you want to test a man's character, give him power. That's a fact. Julio Cardenas, I appreciate you. Who else we got here? Philly 500 pounds, salutes. Juan Quintero, salutes. Freddie Lopez, I appreciate you. Gordo Gordito, salutes to you. Albert Flores, thank you for helping push the content forward. Think Like a Kingpin once again. Rilo, Mario Bustamante once again. Shout out Hot Dollar. Shout out Kamira Lumpkins. Appreciate you. Freddie Lopez once again. Southside Mexican, salutes to you. Chucky Chigong, I appreciate you checking in, sir. Daniel Shytown, salutes. Daniel Mendoza, salutes. Perfecto J777, salutes to you. Yar, salutes to you. All right, shout out Big June. He said hit that like button on the way out. Gracias, salutes. Appreciate you. JR said, Shy, I got my own wrench and hammer. Let me get that green light. Salutes. All right, you have a good night, sir. Top Dollar acting like a top food stamp. Salutes. So that I said, way out of topic. I'm looking at this pic of Pete, and my son's eyebrows look just like the twins' age on this pic. Salutes. Think Like Kingpin. I appreciate you, sir. Danny Mendoza. Buenas noches, Shai Zorada. Salutes to you. Peace out from Gordo Gorditos. Salutes. Y'all said get Pete to show his chest one day. Yeah, Pete ain't showing his chest. Jay will probably show you his chest. Big June says, Shy, what's up, bro? Some minds are full. Salutes to you, Big June. Hot Dollar says, Shy, do you understand what it means to politic? It's not getting kidnapped. You're real slow. What you think? It was 3 days between the time that he got kidnapped, he got on, and he worked for the government. Was that only in a 3-day time? No, in the midst of that, it takes politicking and it takes talking. And watch your motherfucking mouth, Hot Dollar. Or you end up in the fucking bag. I hate you, motherfucker, when you talking like you. I don't know what you be talking like. See, I've been real patient with you, and now you being condescending. Shy, do you understand what it means to politic? Motherfucker, you don't know shit about... You probably 20 years old. Like, what are you talking about? Who the fuck are you talking to? Don't talk to me like that, dog. Especially at the end of my shit. After you being greedy as fuck, got almost all your punk-ass questions answered for the free. Like, shut up. Peter, congratulations on winning that case. Yeah, salutes Peter Hassaz beating McDonald's. Hit that like button on the way out. I don't like when motherfuckers like be talking like that. You don't understand? You condescending me? Because you don't understand? Yeah, there was they did some politicking in Mexico, fuckhead. I thought it might be Saul in disguise. Saul's fucking sack swinger. Shout out Chucky Chingon. Gordy Gordito, salutes to you. Good night, everybody. Salutes Peter Hassaz. Keep your eye on the register. Again, congratulations. Gordo Gordito said peace. Y'all said good night, Shy Ill fam. Salutes. Zorada said Shy, chat, que descansan todos. Gracias. Think Like a Kingpin for your time. Buenos nachos. Salutes. Zorada. Buenos noches, Danny. Danny Mendoza. Once I get my ends right, I'm going to help out the channel. No worries, Danny. Make sure you come through and hit that like button, and we appreciate you for that. Salutes, Danny. All right. Again, appreciation to all my usual suspects, all my donators, everybody, all the ghost watchers that didn't hit the like button. You didn't do much for us. The game comes with a 401k and benefits. Small dollar. Salutes. I seen your channel. I had to subscribe today. Thank you, Freddie Lopez. I appreciate you. We're going out the same way we came in. Hot Dollar, I hope that you get familiar and get a better attitude, Papa, because you think you know what the fuck you talking about. And that shit just be crazy to be. You know what politicking is, Shy? And politicking is shut your ass up. Look at it. Shy, they paid the money. If they didn't pay it, didn't matter what they said. But once again, okay. But did they or did they not become the golden goose of the cartel? Huh? Did they not sit at that table for multiple years after that happened? That's not politicking? Paying the money ain't part of politicking? Huh? That's what I'm saying. Like, hot dollar, man, you just, you vendetta said. Mayo got kidnapped. You know? They don't want to believe that part either. Y'all said the government still asks the twins questions to this day. Salute. I asked them Higgins questions. All right, y'all have a good night, man. We going out the way we came in. Hit the like button on the way out. I gave y'all some shit. Politicking isn't paying money. Politicking is just what part of what they did. You just one of those guys, hot dollar, there's no helping you, Papa. You're a hopeless case, but it's okay. Just don't condescend me. Salutes. All right, you had a good time here. At least hit the like button. All right, and you'll be here tomorrow. When you're not talking, when the twins ain't here to listen to you say the same thing over and over, you'll be watching and listening. So salutes to you. Y'all have a great night. All right, peace.
Running away, no one is there, no one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sons, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. They over the hilltop, I see them right there. They'll wait for the kill shot, they'll sit and they'll stare. If we got a real shot for us, it's up there. We're hopeless if we stop, they'll kill us right here. Living in death's den, run through the best winds, storming the front gates. Whatever gets us in, whatever gets us over, whatever helps us win, whatever we must do. Rescuing our kids, as long as they get through it, don't matter if we live. God chose to bless you, I'll take all that death gives. I'm into this war ends, in memory of dead friends, hope of a new way when all of this death ends. Who can we call on? It's me and it's all y'all. We're here by our lonesome, nobody to fall on. Flesh in the dirt, fire to ashes. Fate getting closer every moment that passes. Running away, no one is there, no one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sons, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. Show me a safe place, does it exist? It must be a wasteland where nobody lives, that nobody knows of, where nobody's been. Where we at is warfare, every kind you can get. What you can't get is real love and fucking respect. Set up for failure, a life of neglect. If none of us stand up, we'll live with regrets. If we rise, we might die, I call that a good death. What would I live for if I am oppressed? How can I raise up with the world on my chest? Who's gonna save us if you and I rest? They shoot us in cold blood when under arrest. Lock us in cold cells, consider it home now. Cut off from emotion, our feelings are stone now. Our buildings are blown out, the madness is so loud. It's dark and there's no sound, we gotta go now. Running away, no one is there, no one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sons, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. The illness is prevalent, natives malevolent. Hunger, starvation now, no hope for a heaven sent. Kiss the babies goodbye, say I love you to wives. Grab your weapons, get your steps in, we gon' ride when it rise. The sun mean what when it's blinding your eyes? Put the wind to your back, leave them facing the sky. Put the pain in the dirt, raise your bloody fist high. Use your brain, do the work, strategize and survive. The rush of the dust up, the thrill of the gun buzz. The satisfaction of our reaction when there's no one to help us. The spoils of war, the hunger for more. The passion of how we smashing what we hate through the floor. The rage, the loneliness of dead on the page. To cleanse this land, gotta burn more than just sage. Crush the cage, body and soul unafraid. Kill them all and set them ablaze. No running away, no one is there, no one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sons, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. Hanging from a thread till you dead, cause your partner put a price on your head. Cause your chick was laying up in his bed. She getting details, spilling every word that you said. She working retail, thirsty bitch just trying to get ahead. If history tell us anything, y'all both end up dead. It's just a street tale, a fable, some shit someone said. Sit at the table and hope there's more to offer than bread. Pulled out the cradle, first steps you getting chased by a fed. No head starts, just body parts and lead sparks. Old religion, brand new hate and weak hearts. Oligarchs, krakens, dragons, you see sharks. Imagine you could manage to maneuver the deep part. You a savage, you can have it, just show all your teeth sharp. If you could grab it, you could stab it, just aim for the bleeding heart. The ones that show compassion, a soldier that seeks art. Does the artist that wage war take over or take part? Taking a knee, thinking no one faithful is me. I'm good people in bad lands, no evil live within me. I mind mine, I'll survive, find this lands for the free. If I'm mistaken, I'm forsaken, no one rescuing me. Residual effects, stray bullets through familiar necks. For any number of infractions that I deem disrespect. Your beliefs, you deserve better, but we both in the shit. You just haven't come to grips with it yet. Fight or flight, and they ain't really nowhere to go. If your back is against the wall and you ain't throwing no blows, you gon' crumble in the rubble, become blood in the snow. If you a victim, they collect them, grab the body and go. Dig them and ditch them, total disregard for the soul. Gas them and lit them, watch the flesh burn in the glow. Where we live and catch a shivering, it's a hell you don't know. Your best hope is that your dying ain't slow, or your dying's a show. Where we at, it's every man for his own. A bloody backdrop, where killers just zone and slice flesh to the bone. Masked and gloved up front of your home. A flash of gun, but the side of your dome. Fresh blood from a stone, dents in your sense. Kick your fucking ball through the fence. Dare you to say something. No sense in sitting around in suspense. Find out what's next. Open your fucking mouth, disrespect. See the extent of how my life is intense. She beautiful and oppressed in a permanent summer dress. She a servant and still she blessed. Children cradled against her breast, whispering prayers, wishing their souls the best, knowing that they forgotten, not forgetting they're blessed. The bloodiest red lights, just piles of dead life. Something must be broken, the glyphs wasn't read right. You think them Bible papers will shed light? Yeah, right. Burn after reading, tell the preacher I'm leaving.